Tony, thank you for coming, sir. I really appreciate you taking the time and coming to talk to me. Not that we haven't done this before. It was just,
Like, who are you?
yeah. I was like, it wasn't just recorded, but I mean, it was the same thing. So thank you again for taking the time out and coming and talking to me. Like we were discussing a few minutes ago, for years, I wanted to start this podcast because I wanted to capture the type of conversations that I'm having with people because I know years ago it would have helped me. Plus, it's just general entertainment. You're on a
Right.
flight, you're driving,
Yeah.
listening to people who think like you, who think business, video, first can be awesome.
Right.
And coming back to it, that's exactly how I want to start. So how we met is obviously through David's networking events. Um, but also you hit me up because you wanted to, talk, improve your craft, improve your business strategies.
Yeah.
So walk me through that. I want to learn more of what made you reach out to me and what did you want to ask me? Did you then find that out? Go in depth because we have a lot of
Yeah.
time here. And then also, did that help you in any way?
Yeah. So just so again, Tony, cutting out a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tony, so we met a couple times through the networking events, and just I wanted to pick your brain a little bit further than what we were discussing in the general setting. It's a lot of people around, a lot of noise, a lot of people, so it's a lot of moving pieces. So I just wanted a one-on-one to just sit down and just figure out, who you are. Who is this guy with with this nice shirts coming on, looking clean with the Jordans and all this, and I'm just like, who is this guy? And he's talking like he knows what he's talking about, and I just want to just understand, why, how, who, who you were, and then just sitting down and just picking your brain and just hearing the like all the knowledge that you had, and coming from a place that where we kind of can relate to being brown skin. There's no obvious saying thing here, but just wanted to see somebody else who kind of went through the same struggles that I might go through throughout my journey in this. Pretty new to this, only, been shooting for a total of 6 years, really business, 2.5 years, so I just wanted to get with somebody who's been in it for, a long time. You said 15 years, and, you went through a lot of hurdles and tribulations to figure out the space you're in now. I'm sure you had a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of headaches, a lot of, all that. So I just wanted to, if I can get over that without having to go through it, or at least, get with somebody who can understand, who kind of looks like them, like, okay, don't do this instead. So then I don't have to go through that same journey. I can leap over that and then keep moving. Those my, that's my whole reason of sitting down. You just one of the guys that, David looked up to. He would come to you and ask you questions. I'm like, okay, he must be the expert in this field. And I appreciate David for even starting it, because without him, we probably would never even run paths.
Exactly. Yeah, I love those meetups, man. I'm telling David to just do, and I know he's a busy guy. Hope to have him on the podcast in the next few weeks. But he's a busy filmmaker like all of us. So for him to do that, how many people I've met through his meetups has been incredible. So I'm glad he did those, and we met, and then I'm so glad you reached out and us talking, and typically, I mean, let's get onto it. There's no off topic here. I'm so obsessed. I have that obsessive personality. So I don't know if you can tell. I loved video, and then once I finally made this, like, this is it, right? And it's bigger than me. I'm gonna build this company. I just went all in, and so all I could talk about is video.
Yeah.
So I never stopped for a minute and think about the other factors that affected me, because I was always just blaming the video industry, right? Oh, why can't I get this contract, or why can't whatever the like you said, the hurdle was at the time. But the truth is, there was race to a factor, right? I don't typically talk about it or even think about it, for that matter, in my brain, like, oh, that's holding me back. But the truth is, that is sometimes can be the factor, because we've all been through meetings or things where you can think about, like, hey, was race a factor in me not getting that project, or me not getting that meeting, or whatever, right? Initially, I found it was the another thing that people don't think about is age, because I was young. I was I'm 33 now, but I find myself, I like to keep a little, grayish beard, because that helps. Because most of the people, let's be real, we're selling to, even though I made thousands and or rather tens of thousands of videos, and made companies hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. When you show up and you're like a young guy in your late like 20s or early 30s or
Yeah, they'll
whatever,
take you serious.
the CEOs who are generally, or marketing managers, are in their 40s, 50s, 60s. They don't take you seriously. And so when I walk in, I noticed that. I genuinely, like, people are like, "Oh, why are you trying to look, with a beard, they're trying to look older." And I was like, "Hey, the truth is, my market is these older gentlemen or whatever. They're gonna judge me instantly. I walk into the room, and for me to be taken seriously, I have to look like I belong. Right now, I know for a fact the solution that I'm offering is totally worth the cost, and it's gonna totally give them the ROI. But if they didn't even give me a chance, it doesn't matter what I have to sell
Right.
to them, right?
Exactly.
And so as soon as I found out, when I did the whole beard thing, and just took on this persona of somebody who looks older, rather say that, it helped me close more deals. And ever since, I'm like, okay, well, it's my life. Thank goodness I don't have to go look for girls.
Right.
And anyway, but that helped a lot. So I completely see how age can be a factor, and how many great video people out there aren't getting deals just because they're not even being considered, just because the person on the other side doesn't consider them experienced enough or whatever. And then obviously race is another huge factor, right? You see not that many black people or Indian people in the industry, and I think that's most likely it. Is because not only now do you have to be a great videographer, or a filmmaker, or a sound guy, or gaffer, whatever you're trying to be, or DP, you have to now be extra good,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
So that was a very interesting topic, and I'm so glad you discussed that, because that kind of made me stop for a second, think about all the times I've been in meetings where it was race a factor,
Yeah.
or was it just my skill set, right?
Yeah.
And
Or vice versa. I
yeah,
mean, you could have got a job because you were,
yeah. Oh, I know for a fact I've done
diversity
that.
hire. So
Yeah, so I haven't worked with that many Indian companies, to be real, but I totally, and here's coming. I'm so glad you say that. I am totally for it. I don't want to be one of those guys
right.
who says, "Oh, you have this advantage, you're privileged or whatever, so now you should lower your privilege." I'm saying, no, take advantage of it.
Yeah.
There's so many. Like Indian businesses, and if I'm Indian and they give me business, I'm gonna
I'm gonna say,
happily
yeah,
take it, because I want to make awesome videos.
absolutely.
And if that's the factor that gets me the video, I am taking it, sir.
Yeah.
And I same thing, if I remember correctly, I told in the meeting, I'm like, hey, look, yes, it's probably a factor, but then why don't you find there's so many black Americans that are building amazing, incredible businesses, and guess what they
Yeah.
need? Videos.
Yeah.
So guess what? You have now an advantage, as long as you hyper target yourself
Right.
to those folks. And doesn't mean discount other companies. Obviously, we'll work with them. But I'm saying, if we don't have privilege somewhere else, we have privilege somewhere, other than
Right.
that, and we should go take full advantage of that. Do you agree with me or not on
No,
that?
absolutely. I mean, you gotta find your lane.
Yeah.
You gotta go in. Basically, you gotta get in where you fit in. You
Hmm.
know, can't just try to keep trying to force your way into certain industries that don't want you there.
Hmm.
You got to find your people.
Yeah.
Whether that's it don't have to be your color, but just your people. Just be people who relate to you and people who like you, trust you. But I definitely agree with that. Because you don't want to just keep trying to force your way into a hole that doesn't want you there, or to an industry that don't want you there. Go build your own lane. Go build your own.
Yeah.
Find your own circle.
And there's enough work for everyone. There's so many
Absolutely.
businesses that need video, that I don't think enough work is an issue. You just have to have your skill be there, and then you have to have your business skill be there. And I don't think anyone will have issue getting enough work. The other thing is, now, but I'm all for playing up the part, like we discussed a few minutes ago. But I'm all for, like, hey, I go to network now until you get there. Like initially, when I'm going to networking events, I'm saying years ago, you gotta play your part. Put on a suit, put on a tie, dress nice, because that's how they're dressed. These business owners that are making millions of dollars, when they go to networking events, they put on a suit. So if you're trying to make millions, or
Yeah,
even hundreds of thousands, of six figures everyone wants to make, then dress
dress
like
the
that. Then
part.
that's an effort on you. I
Right.
don't count that as anything extra or something that somebody's asking of you. You have to belong. If you and I'm to be real, I am at the stage now where I don't give a crap. So I have shown up with my because to me my branding
Yeah.
is everything. But I'm saying, but at this point, I like to pick and choose and my clients. But the point I'm trying to make is, if you need clients and your clients are in a room in a networking event, then dress like them, belong there, and make an effort, obviously, to fit the part. If you were just a rebel and who's like, no, I'm just gonna show up in a t-shirt, then they're not gonna take you seriously. And at that
Right.
point, I don't think it's them, it's you, right?
Right.
So there's both sides to the coin. Find your lane. If there's a room, even after you put all your effort, they don't want you, then it's okay. Just move on to where you belong.
Right.
But at the same time, first make an effort to fit, right?
Yeah, like I said, not only really you have to fit the part, but to come in as you are, you have to be at a level to where they trust you so much that they don't even care what you
Mhm.
come as.
Yeah.
You made them so much money they're like, oh, that's just him. That's
Yeah,
how
that's a
he
buddy,
is.
right? You become
Yeah.
friends with the class because what do the people say? I think you have to have like 9 or 10 touches or whatever in person for them to like buy from you. People buy from people they know, like, and trust. And for me, it's like you'd be amazed. I like to be active in the Chamber of Commerce's, and I'd love to talk about that, some other time, or even today if you wanted to. But you have to be active in your business community. You're a business owner, right? And that's if you want to be. Obviously, if you're a DP, I don't know if that's relevant.
Right.
But if you're trying to build a production company and you're a business owner, go hang out with other business owners, find out what they want, right? And I found huge success with that, but it doesn't come immediately. I've had a lot of people again ask me like, "What should I do?" And I tell them, and they're like, "Oh, I went to 5 events and nothing happened." Right. And I'm like,
Mhm.
well, it's not going to happen in 5 events. This is a
Yeah.
long term play. You're trying to build a relationship. These people aren't just ready for you to show up with
Right.
your card and they're like, I want video. I mean, you could get lucky, but you know what I mean?
Right.
It's a long term play. Plus, it's also genuine relationships. If you walk in there genuinely trying to meet other local businesses, build a community, help each other out, pass referrals, because I'm sure somebody's like, hey, I need a roof done. And maybe you know now a roofer that you didn't, or
Right.
I don't know, another chiropractor or whatever business owner that you meet, right, at these events. Now you're giving them leads too, because I'm
Mhm.
sure somebody in your life is asking for
Oh,
leads. I
absolutely.
don't know. I found a huge success with that. If you're just great and you just build these relationships, I've had people go a year later, like, hey, Vipul, I was thinking about making a video. Let's do it. And I'm like, awesome, let's do it. And I've known this person for a year, right? And
Yeah.
so money comes back. I've had huge amounts of ROI from networking. It's just don't expect it to be immediate.
And that's the whole thing with these, BNIs and chambers, and people can sense desperation.
Yeah.
They can sense when you're just there just for that.
Yeah.
You just coming in, just pitching video, not trying to build a genuine,
Yeah.
genuine connection with
Mhm.
everybody there, so they can sense when you're, trying to pray. So it's as that's one thing that it's those are the slow burn, slow, slowly get in there, maybe 2, 3, 4 months, but it's even a year to even get one. And then once you get that one, then it's kind of like a snowball
Yeah.
effect after that. Once you do a great job for that one person, and he goes to tell somebody else. Now it's you got the whole chamber now on your back now, trying to get you to do a video. And
Exactly,
so
man. And my best strategy is just make the video for the chamber, let people watch it, because I don't need to. For me, at least, I'm not trying to sell to each person. I'm just saying, hey, look, I'm gonna partner with the chamber. I'm gonna make them an awesome ass video, and then I'm gonna let them play you that video. And now I want you to go to them and be like, who
yeah,
did
who
that
did that?
video?
Yeah.
That video is amazing, because and it's all about storytelling. Again,
Mm.
don't get at least I don't get obsessed about camera, and like obviously your art is important, your camera is important, your lens is important, but I'm not getting too in depth. I'm worried more about the story. That's
Yeah.
my focus. How can I tell an impactful story? And I want those people to watch those impactful stories and then automatically go, I want that for my business.
Right.
And they ask the chamber, and the chamber will obviously say, this is the chamber member that did it. And that's how I like to do it. I'm like completely like, I'm like, forget the handshaking, the card saying,
Yeah.
I just want to make what I love making, right? I would be doing this anyway if this wasn't a job. I'm just
Right.
lucky that I can make a living off of this. And I find when you genuinely like to make awesome videos, people want them and they come to you. But you
Absolutely.
do need people to see it. If they don't know you
Yeah.
exist, they just don't know you exist.
Absolutely.
And these type of partnerships, like you said, BNI, a chamber of commerce, or any other networking or any other organization, like even our filmmaker meetup, if you're a DP and trying to
Hmm.
find producers or whatever, is an incredible opportunity for you to get your work out there and get your personality out there, because that
Right.
matters too, right? Not
Absolutely.
everything clicks. You may be talented, but if you're not jiving or whatever, vibing with the other person, then it ain't gonna work.
Trust me, I've
And
I've done
yeah.
through that a lot. I've tried to hire, so that's my big thing is I love to give new people, or people with less status to, be on shoot and hire them because, everybody doesn't have that talent to, be the front runner,
Mhm.
but be the producer, to be the main man talking and all that. People just want to shoot. People just want to be holding the camera. People just want
Yeah.
to take pictures.
Mm.
And it's hard when you don't have that personality to be out there to do that. Now you're stuck because now you got to figure out how to get more personality because you don't have it,
Yeah.
and just do the thing that you love. So I love to be that person in between to get the job and hire these low end people. But at the same time, when you don't have that personality, that also shows on the set, and it's like I don't like the way you do that. I
Mhm.
don't like the way you're moving. You're doing a little too much. Why are you talking to the customer
Yeah.
like that? Why are you fall back some? You're doing too much on my shoot. Now you make me look bad because you're representing me while you're here.
Mhm.
So now I can't rehire you because now, I don't know how you're going to act next time.
Yeah.
So
Exactly. No, you're saying it perfectly. No, man, it's all about, again, sharing opportunity, but personality is everything. And if you don't have it, guess what? You don't need to. See, you need to find, like you said before, we were talking about finding your lane. If you're like, hey, my personality isn't where I want to be interacting with a client or whatever, right? That's okay. You can find a role. There's so many roles
right,
in what we do where you can make your personality fit in. You fit in. Don't feel like you don't. You just have to find where you fit in. It
right,
may not be the role then you're, because then you only have choices, two choices, right? Let's say you want to be client facing. You're like, I just want to be a production company owner, but you're like an introvert like me. You can
yeah,
find two ways, which is what I had to do. It's like, no, you can dig deep and say, no, I'm gonna go talk to this client, or you can just be a DP or whatever. I'm saying you
right,
can't choose a different lane. And I was like, no, I have to fight through
yeah,
this urge of not wanting to just make random talk or whatever, right? You have to do that, and that's on the person and them. I feel like just digging deep and figuring out how their personalities fit. Either they're gonna change their personality, or they're gonna change the style of work or whatever the role that they want to be in.
yeah. You got to be uncomfortable with the comfortable. You got to be
Exactly.
comfortable with the uncomfortable. So
Exactly.
you got to push through it without any
Yeah.
like traumas or adversity in your life. You
Yeah.
don't know anything.
Yeah.
You just think just getting through life is going to get you there, but you got to have some kind of drama, some kind of you got to go through something to get you
Mhm.
over that hump. You don't know the other end.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Awesome. So tell me more about why video. How did you get into video? And
mhm. Yeah, so I kind of like lucked into this or just
hmm
fell into this. It wasn't always my passion, even though I liked it. I used to have growing up. We had production classes in high school, and I took one of them not just because I loved it. It was just something else to do because I didn't, have anything else for elective, so I just picked it. And we had to remake the ending of is the Bates Motel? Or what's the one with the Hitchcock with the hotel when they was killing the people in the hotels and
oh
I forgot the name of the
yeah,
movie, but
yeah, I
but
can't. Yeah.
but basically we had to remake the ending of that to
hmm
make it something different than what it was. So we took that and I was just going through that and just like, oh man, this is cool.
hmm
And also in that class, we were able to learn emotion through video and through sound. So we watched a lot of music videos with no music, just watch the video, and then the teachers be like, "What do you feel?" Just with no sound. How do you feel? Like,
hmm
okay, look, it looks okay. Like I'm okay. And then she'll play it with the sound. You're like, oh man, I feel totally different. Like
Yeah.
this is so I'm sad now. Like this is
Yeah.
sad. So going through that, not knowing that future in life that will help me with my video making because now I understand how to provoke emotion and how people feel through video. That was my start, and not knowing that. So I really got started just by my wife had bought me a GoPro just off the whim because I like to make random videos.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing softball and she'll gonna come and film, and I'll just chop up the videos, make quick little videos, and or I'll make little cooking videos just to just be playing around with it, not thinking that I love it. I'm just just playing around. So when my friend saw it, he was also a photographer here in Orlando. He saw that, he's like, "Oh man, that's dope! Like that's amazing." I'm like, "It's just a random video, like it ain't nothing to me." So he hit me up. It's like, "Hey, you want to shoot a wedding?" Absolutely. Why not? So again, throughout this whole process, I never owned a camera yet. I'm still, like I said, I got a GoPro, I got my phone. I had never actually owned or held a camera at this point. So my first time actually holding a camera was at somebody's wedding.
Oh wow!
So
that's a risk you took, sir. I would never, because bride. This only happens once.
Yeah,
so I hope
absolutely.
you got good footage.
Oh no, I got amazing footage. So
awesome.
So what the crazy part was, I didn't know how to turn it on. I didn't know what the start button was. I didn't know at the time. I didn't know what ISO was. I didn't know what aperture was. He was basically like, it's already set.
So he put it on.
Just hit start. Yeah.
Awesome.
He was like, just hit start.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, cool. So again, at a wedding, you understand that at a wedding, you're basically second in line.
Mm-hmm.
It's the bride and groom, then you.
Yeah.
Everybody else doesn't matter
mm-hmm.
because they're paying you to be there. So you need to make sure that you're able to capture what you need to capture without grandma being in the way, cousin, uncle, you step in the aisle, you get in front of them.
Exactly.
So when he told me that, I'm like, okay, I got it. Because I was a little timid at the time, because I didn't want to be that guy that tells grandma to move. Exactly. But at the same time, they're paying me, and then they'll be mad at me when I don't get the footage because you're like, why didn't you get it? Because the grandma's in the, So knowing that, I'm like, okay, now I have authority to move people, and they understand why.
Yeah.
So
I respect, by the way, people who do weddings. I've never done one, and I will never do one. I'm happy with my business owners. But
weddings is a grind.
Yeah,
you have to love weddings to do weddings. Yeah. So just going through that process of just again, I didn't have no references. I was just really just going off my own perception or preference of what I would think a wedding video would look like. I didn't go on YouTube and look up anything prior to that. I was just filming stuff that I thought would look cool. So I did it, put a video together. Everybody loved it. Amazing. It was like, oh my God, it's an amazing video. 2 months later, he's like, hey, you want to do another one? Okay, yeah, great. Why not? Let's go ahead and do it. So do it again. Again, this time I got a little more knowledge now from the first one. Now this time I'm doing a little more research on YouTube and trying to figure out what is the actual process and how do you do this and that. Cool. So do that one. Great. They love that one. 2 months later, hey, you want to do another one? Why not? Now at this point, I'm like, okay, is this my passion? Is this my goal in life to do weddings? Is this because it's like it's just coming free because I'm not doing no promotion, I'm not doing nothing. It's really just connection based.
Somebody is just hitting you up, going
so it takes people 10, 15, sometimes never do 3 weddings in their lifetime. It takes 2 years to get through weddings, and I'm doing it within 6 months.
Exactly. I don't even know I would go to that many weddings.
So it's like not even owning a camera. I don't own a camera. I don't own a light. I don't own anything. I'm doing everything off of what he has. So do the 3rd wedding, and it's like, I like this though. But again, at the same time, it's the grind. You're there from 10 to 10, and it's you barely taking breaks, and it's fun because each one is different, and it's fun just seeing all the happy people and just being around different cultures and stuff like that. So it was amazing in that form, but at the same time, it's a grind. I'm like, man, this is a lot of work. But even though the payout is better, better than being a 9 to 5, it's like, man, I can make a month's salary within an 8-month time period, but then your body's taking the toll of it.
Yeah.
So I just went through that. And then I just took a hiatus. He kind of fell back from weddings too. And then I wasn't doing no promotion because I wasn't at that time taking it seriously. So I took about a year and a half to where I was able to get another gig at that point. He had a lot of connections to where he would hit me up like, hey, you want to do this and that, do that? I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. It was the last time he hit me up to do one of his friends needed a wedding, and it was a last minute wedding. And I'm like, I really don't want to do it. So I put out an outrageous number, and she's like, yeah, cool. I'm like, oh, well, okay. Well, I guess I'm coming to your wedding then. So
that's how most people raise their rates. They go, I don't want to do this. So it's an absurd number, and people just, you'd be amazed.
So then after we did that one, and that one was all day. She really wanted an all day. So we was there from 6 to 11.
Oh, wow.
6 a.m. because she wanted like a documentary style, capture the whole day type thing, wedding. After that, that's when I started taking it serious. 'Cause everybody was like,
Hey,
you're
what's
really
the
good with
crazy
this.
number? Can you tell us?
At that time, it was 6,500.
That's pretty good for a wedding video. Yes.
So,
And that's what you're saying at that time.
yeah, at
Maybe
that
you're
time,
asking even more now,
because
right? Yeah.
then, like you said, I wasn't a company at this time. I
Mhm.
wasn't LLC'd at this time. I wasn't incorporated.
Yeah.
I was just a random guy who he texted me like, "Hey, she need a video for a wedding. It's all day. What you doing?"
Exactly.
I'm like, "I really want to do it. Here, just tell her it's saying it's 6,500."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Okay, great. What? Like, you
Yeah.
gonna pay this?" Like, so again, even with that kind of what threw me off too, because again, I wasn't
What you should be charging for your weddings if you do weddings,
Oh.
6,500 minimum.
minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty
Also
good.
higher,
See,
yeah,
already
higher.
I'm learning so much. I'm like,
Yeah.
look, Tony. there you go.
But that also depends on what kind of weddings you're doing, because I also done India weddings, charge double that.
Oh yeah, Indians like to party, but that's how I wanted to. Funny enough, to so say, I didn't want to have a wedding because I grew up and weddings. I thought that was normal. Obviously, weddings go on for freaking weeks and thousands of people. I was like,
Yeah.
this is crazy.
Yeah.
And then no, I was like, I can't do this. So
Yeah.
anyway,
So with that last wedding, the issue that I had was, like I said, I wasn't a business, and I didn't understand business, etiquette and lingo and all that. I didn't have no contracts and all that. So I didn't have to sign a contract. It was all word of mouth. So the issue with that was payment time. At
you
the
didn't charge
time,
up front.
so at that time, I was doing I was doing 50% at the time up front, and then 50% the day of. The day of that you receive your final video.
Yeah.
I was just doing that based off of what I heard in the industry, stuff like that. So it was nothing in writing.
Yeah.
So we got, because it was last minute, it was like 2 days after she hit me up. So it was like a Monday and wedding was like on a Wednesday. So, I'm like, okay, cool. Normally at that time you would get the full payment up front because it's like, hey, it's right here.
Last minute. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, she's not gonna screw me because it's your friend. Y'all are cool. You're not gonna screw me knowing that you know who this is. So I'm like, okay, I took the leap. I'm like, all right, cool, just give me the 50% and we'll work out on the back end whenever you get the video. So do the wedding again. It was actually a disaster because it was cool for the first half because we was inside the house, and then it started pouring down raining.
Oh.
We're in Florida. And it wasn't, a regular Florida rain, where it rained for 5 minutes and you're done. No, this was when the hurricane went, where it rained for 6 hours straight.
Oh.
It started at like 1 o'clock and didn't end to 10.
That's like a nightmare for a
And it was an outdoor wedding.
Oh.
Outdoor
So
in
did
the
they
park.
have to move it inside or whatever?
No, it was
They
still tried to do it.
in the rain?
They did it in the rain. Again, I'm not a production company, so I don't have protective gear. I don't have raincoats. I don't have covering. So I'm outside with a trash bag over my camera to make sure it's protected.
Yeah.
And it was just, I mean, we made it work for what it was. It could have been a lot better, but again, it wasn't, it's out of our hands at that point.
Yeah.
We was waiting, losing sunlight, losing a lot of, just valuable time just because we were waiting to hopefully for the, rain to pass. And it just never happened. So we just had to do what we need to do at that point. Again, so after that, it took about 2 months to actually do the final video. And so at this point, I'm hitting her up like, hey, I'm ready for the final payment. I have your video ready. Oh, give me a week. Okay, a week goes by. Oh, give me another week. Okay, a week goes by. Give me another month. A month goes by.
She doesn't want her own wedding.
She doesn't want. Hey, at this point, I kind of wash my hands with it. Like, hey, I got 50% up front. I'm not. If it don't fall through, whatever, I'm fine with it. 6 months goes by. Well, 4 months go by. I hit her up again. She's like, I still don't have it. Give me time. So at this point, I just wash my hands with it. I'm like, it's done with it. I'm not even gonna worry about it. At the 6 month point, she hit me up. It's like, hey, I got your money. Great. Oh, okay. Here's my account. Here's the number. Go ahead and send it. Once you send it, then I'll send you a video. And she sent the money. I was shocked because I'm like 6 months later, like,
hey,
you got to, so she get the money. So I sent her the video. She loved it. They loved it. It was just like, and she wanted to do some more. But I'm at the time like, no, I can't do more work with you just because of how you were running your.
At least she paid you. But you're absolutely right. And that's the power of contracts, man.
Yeah.
But that's okay. You were new. I mean, we've all done it.
Yeah.
Don't have contracts long time ago. when I was freelancer, I did that a ton. Now that I know, I'm like never, because you got to protect yourself. Plus the
Absolutely.
payment up front. The only time I ever, I'm okay with the payment on the day off is when I'm working with like friends, like I'm a DP or whatever, and plus somebody I know. I'm like, sure, that's okay. You could pay me, at the end of the
Yeah.
shoot. Like, but even then, on that day, like, I'm not expecting payment, a week
Yeah.
later or whatever.
Yeah.
And I've never had issues with payment, but that's because I've heard like these type of nightmares.
Yeah.
And plus, the clause of weather. That's why I'm like, talk to an attorney, get a really good contract, because not you. I mean, I'm sure you have figured
Yeah.
it out by
Absolutely.
now.
Yeah.
Because you want to have those, they call them, I think, acts of God or weather clause or whatever in there. I'm not a lawyer, right? So I don't know. But point is, they can have lots of clauses in there to protect you in that case, because you can't
Yeah.
predict it at least.
Right.
I guess you can look at the weather app, but they're not
It's not
typically
accurate.
reliable, especially in
It's,
Florida.
yeah,
Like
so
you
we're
said,
in
at
Florida,
least it was in a
man.
Florida rain,
Yeah.
because here it'll just rain for 10 minutes
Yeah.
randomly,
Be gone.
and then that's like nothing
Yeah.
happened anyway. But no, that's good. But that's a good
So
lesson though, right?
no,
Hey, at
absolutely.
least you didn't lose money, and now you learned that, hey, I gotta have contracts, I gotta have payment terms. Plus, have you changed it now? Do you charge like upfront before um like the shoot is starting or whatever? Because that's how
So
I do it. I do it. If they want to split it, most funny enough, again, all the good clients don't even care about splitting
yeah.
it, but it's okay. I understand, like, they may not have that big chunk, so I'll let them do 50% upfront, but then 50% before shoot. I'm not shooting unless I have 100%. So
So it's kind of similar still. Now I do 50%, 30, 60 days prior to
hmm
shooting. And then the other 50% the day of.
hmm
Just depend on the client, because I know some clients do net 30s, net 60s.
hmm
I know we talked about that where you don't do clients like that. You don't do
yeah,
net 30s
I don't do that, but it's
net
okay.
anyway.
I don't have any issues with people who do that. That's okay,
Yeah.
because there are some companies where, like, I don't do that unless it's the government,
Yeah.
state or federal. That's okay, because I trust and maybe I'm wrong, but I've never had issue with any state
Yeah.
government or federal government. So I do have colleges and stuff that are state owned. And they have policies, whatever. But funny enough, even I have had them pay me in, like, before delivery, because then they'll say,
Mhm.
"Oh, but we can't also not process this 30-day payment until
Mhm.
you deliver." I'm like, no, no,
Right.
no, no. We're gonna get a deposit, and it takes 30 days, so we'll pay 30
You're
days.
right.
And then we'll film it, and then, obviously it'll take them 30. So normally I try to deliver videos in 2 weeks. I'm like, I purposely put their delivery dates in 30 days. So I'm like, okay, when the payment comes, I'll give you the video. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? At
Yeah.
the end of the day, but they've always paid. Obviously, the government, I find, at least always pays their bills. But outside of that, I don't care how good the company is. I don't take that risk. But I also do have enough friends that do take that risk and
Yeah.
haven't had issues. So it's kind of like, I think you have to decide what your risk factor is,
Yeah.
right? So I think that's a
Yeah.
personal thing. I just don't take that
Yeah. I
risk.
know.
It's not worth it.
Yeah. We ain't at your level yet to where we can turn
Oh,
down
I'm
money
not.
like that.
I wish but
But
I'm
no,
just happy I
yeah.
can pay my bills.
Nah, that's me too. It's just, no, so it's just, I try not to be, an asshole at all times, but sometimes you got to be, as a business owner, you have to be stern,
hmm
because people walk over you if you're not. But yeah, I do the 30 days prior and then the day of to get the payment.
hmm
But if I'm cool with you,
hmm
and we're actually friends, I'll kind of lean that to where I'll go back to my prior where I'll do 30 days prior, and then I'll give you time to get the money up to then where I give you the video, you give me the rest of the money,
hmm
the video. That's if I'm cool with you. We got to be on
Yeah.
a whole nother level for me to do
Yeah.
that. But if it's just a random business, no, I need to, before I show up, that
hmm
payment need to be, pending,
Yeah.
as I show up. So if not, then like I said, we can wait until it clears, and then I show
Yeah.
back up. You pick another time on my calendar, and then we can shoot from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, now like I said, I learned a lot of lessons just going through, what I've been through with the weddings and then other corporate events. Just you don't know what you don't know. Like I said, I'm
Yeah.
just going through it. I didn't have no mentors, nothing like that. So I was just going off my own merit, just what I
Mhm.
thought was right and how I felt about it. But now, like I say, you learn and you make better choices.
Mhm.
So
That's awesome, and that's what the journey is, and hopefully you can reduce some by talking to other people,
yeah,
and learning from their mistakes. So I hope, coming back to, I think, where we started, like, when you hit me up, hopefully you hit a bunch of other people up, and you kind of learn from other people's mistakes, and You're like, oh, they had this happen. Hopefully, it
Yeah.
won't happen to me now because you're already prepared
Right.
for it. And then obviously you've been doing this enough time that you know you've had your own mistakes you've
Yeah,
learned
absolutely.
from. But the other thing I want to touch on is I don't know how much you could talk about it, but you're also an engineer with a government job and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
You're like trying to achieve everything here.
Yeah.
You're working on cool stuff. Are you able to talk about it or no? I don't know
Yeah.
what kind of
So
job that is.
basically, I'm not your typical, video production company. I do have a 9 to 5 still. I'm the part-time guy,
Mhm.
who does this part-time, who's trying to do this full-time. So yeah, I work for Lockheed Martin. I can say that much. But yeah, went to school for engineering, North Carolina. They flew me down here, interviewed, and to work down here in Orlando, Florida, and been down here for 15 years with them. So what I do on a day-to-day basis, I work for the government. I design missiles for
Mhm.
the Army and Air Force. I can't go into much
Yeah.
about what I do, but I can basically give you that much, that
Look
we
at that.
make missiles.
So you're making
Yeah,
literal
so-
missiles on one hand, and the
Yeah.
other side you're making people's wedding videos.
Yeah,
I mean,
so you
talk
gotta-
about
gotta-
versatility. I mean, look, hey,
Yeah.
typically I'm all about like, you got to go all into video, but I'm like, hey, if you're making missiles, it's not bad to have
Yeah.
video be part time.
Hey, you
I
never
don't know. It
know.
sounds very
Hey.
interesting to me what you do, and obviously it's okay. Like, don't go too deep into it. We don't want to
Nah,
have the
it's-
government shut this podcast.
Nah,
down.
it ain't that serious. It sounds amazing from just on the surface, it sounds amazing, but really, that your whole day to day is really just sitting on a computer doing a lot of Excel and PowerPoints and presentations.
That's
It's
every 9 to 5.
so you don't think no, I'm not Tony Stark's and I'm out.
You're not.
No,
You
it
don't have a
ain't.
hidden iron
No, it ain't-
armor
it
that
ain't-
you guys are testing that we don't know.
Now we
about?
do have testing.
all these drones showing up.
Hey, we do have secret labs. We do all this stuff here, but I'm not in those. But we do testing on what we design. It's not all the time, but we do go through testing where we get to test it and blow it up and see how they react in the field,
Yeah, the
things like
rumor
that.
is all these alien crafts the government and again it's okay, don't comment, but the rumor is all these alien crafts the government captures goes to Lockheed Martin for research. I wonder if you've seen any. You can
Nah,
confirm.
I'm only
just blink once if it's true, blink twice.
Nah, I don't have that type clearance. I don't have that. That's the top secret clearance. I don't have that. So that's a whole nother.
You're not denying that.
No,
Lockheed
I
Martin has aliens.
I can't approve or deny that. That's a true fact or not.
No,
but they did come out and say it was true. So I can't. Hey, you go for their word, not mine. So
Yeah, no,
they know more than I know.
All right, this is off topic, but it's kind of fun.
Nah,
anyway, but that's been like so fun to ask because I don't know that many people who work at Lockheed Martin, so it's like, oh, that's pretty interesting. Anyway, all right, back to our regular scheduled talk. So anyway, so you're an engineer and you're a video person. That must be really hard finding time, and plus, family. You have is like, how are you managing time management in work and life?
Yeah, so it's definitely hard. Like I said, I'm doing this part time to where I work 9 to 5. I work really it helps because I work 4/10s, so I work Monday through Thursday, 10-hour shifts. So it really gives my weekend Friday, Saturday, Sunday to do my work. So I schedule all my shoots on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then I do all my maintenance work, all my scheduling work on nights to where after I get off work I can get on my laptop and then I can start doing the all the manual work, all the tedious work that people don't want to do, and returning emails and trying to contact and do all that to where I on my schedule or on my calendar everything's booked out. It's booked Monday through Thursday because it looks like I'm busy, but I'm really just at work. But so you can pick between Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So okay, cool. So that's how I do it. It's hard, but and then with a wife and child at the house, it's trying to balance that to where I spend time with them throughout the week, which I try to do that Monday through Thursday. Try to always have time to where when she comes home from work, we can sit down and eat dinner every time and play with my daughter when she's there. And then at the same time, I try to bring them along to all my shoots as well. If it's not going to be a nuisance, my daughter in the background screaming, anything like that, or if it's allowable, I'll try to bring them along as much as possible.
That's awesome.
Just so there's around,
Do that, yeah. Have you had any pushback from any clients or anywhere bringing your family?
No, not from the clients, but but from my wife, it's like, nah, you know, that don't sound like a event to where we need to be at. So we're gonna stay here and let you do that alone. So it's really from her, you know.
Yeah.
So you know, everybody
These
loves
wives,
kids.
they want nothing to do with video production, huh? Why is that?
You know, but everybody loves kids. So once you bring a kid around, everybody just falls into, you know, a bliss. So it's, you know, that kind of helps. So, and I think I might use that strategy more often when I'm talking to businesses to bring my child along. You know, because
my daughters are helpful. I've been doing these podcasts, and they were asleep when you came, but you know, hopefully they'll be awake when you leave. But there have been a constant attraction here. Like everyone shows up. It's like a 10-minute distraction with my girl. So like you said, that is an actual advantage. I mean, they have to be a kid person. Some people are not, but so most people, yes, I find that they're more interested in my kids once they meet them, 'cause especially. Do you have a boy or a girl?
I have a girl. I have all girls. I have 3 girls.
Oh, you have 3 girls. So there you go. I have 2 girls, and man, they're very loving. So you know, people are like always like, oh, they're so cute, you know, and stuff like that, and it can be a you know, a fun, I don't know, distraction or whatever.
Yeah, cause I'm just gonna start testing that theory out. I'm gonna start taking her on business calls with me in person, and
how
just
old
have
are
her.
they?
So I have a 16, 9, and 1.
Okay, so the 16-year-old you're talking about taking with you?
No, the 1-year-old.
Oh, the 1-year-old. Oh,
the 1-year-old. Because like I said, at that point, you know, everybody just loves playing with little kids.
That's a big difference in age, right? How are you? That must be difficult to manage.
Well, I'm black. And that's kind of what we does. It kind of just what we. It just means, you know, we just have a wide range of just kids. You know, you might have a 25-year-old and a 1-year-old. You might have a 30, 15, 6, 7, 8, and in a newborn. You know, it's just you know, we have, you know, we're the type of people that just have kids at random times. You know, you just ain't no structure to it. You just
said it.
Hey,
I didn't even know about this, but okay.
Hey, I'm just saying, my family is huge. I have uncles that's you know 10 years younger than me. You know, so it's just.
But hey, it works. It works. Right?
It works. I
mean,
you know,
but that's awesome. I don't know. So hey, maybe advise me, because the biggest because my daughters are obviously 4 and 8. Like the biggest scary thing is a girl. Like I said, I love my girls, but it scares me already. I'm like, they're gonna grow up and you know all that stuff. So how is it dealing with a 16-year-old?
It ain't too bad, even though the whole communication is, you know, it's iffy sometimes, because, you know what I'm saying, she don't want to always talk to dad and always want to be around. And you know, it's one of the things where you just got to get them space and just let them know that you are there. You know what I'm saying? Because they, you know, they're going through their own personal lives with their own personal friends and school and boys and trying to understand college and just figure out life. You know, just let them know that you're there, but at the same time, give them the independence to where they can go through and you know, be their own person.
It's so crazy for me because that, like I said, the older one's 8 and then 16. It's literally double. So 8-year difference. They become like currently my daughter wants not 1 minute away from me, you know, right? And she wants to only talk talk to me all the time, be around me all the time. And you're telling me in 8 years she'll want nothing to do with me.
No, it won't be even that long. It won't be that long. I'll say about 3 or 4 more years. It'll be about hit about 12. That's when it's gonna start.
Oh, that sounds so crazy to think about. That it's such a huge difference, right? That they're like, oh, I want nothing to do with your dad anymore.
Because it just becomes, you know, with school, you know, a lot of influence around, you know, junior high school. That's a huge influence, and they just get that in them. Just depending on the person too, because sometimes, you know, they take on that and then try to rebel and try to be a different person than who they really are. But if they're, you know, but if you're in their life and you have that deep, you know, core within them, then they'll be the same person and they know who you are. So that's one thing I try to instill in them: just be who you are. Don't try to conform to the crowd. Be your own person. If you don't fit in now, you will fit in at one point, because people will try to gravitate towards, you know, towards you at one point in life. You know, you might be popular in high school, but you will be in 30 years. You know, so it's just one of them things to where don't try to, you know, be everybody's friend, because everybody's instant it's not likable. Everybody's not your friend. So don't try to be everybody's friend. Just find your core, stick to yourself, and if everybody doesn't like you, that's fine. 1 or 2 friends, you'd be okay.
That's well said, my friend. Let's go back to weddings for a second. I want to know more about Indian weddings. So you filmed one, right?
Yeah.
How many have you filmed?
I filmed one.
Okay. How was that experience? How many days was it?
So I had to shout out my guy, Ed's, with Ed Studio. I mean, not Ed Studio, Anton Studio. That's my guy. He does a ton of weddings here in Florida. Probably one of the premier Indian wedding video guys out here. So he hired me for one. He was double booked and he needed a couple help for one. We went down to Naples to film it. It was a 3-day event. It was 3 days.
Short for Indian.
Yeah, it was 3 days. Again, I'm coming in. I didn't do no research, so I didn't know exactly what I was looking for. He told me it would be 3 days. And I was like, okay, that's a long time for a wedding.
I'm like, it's a short wedding.
Yeah, and and just not realizing the actual time for each day. Each day is as long as well.
Yeah.
So we talking about 10, 12-hour days as well throughout the day. So it was interesting because, I'm not used to it. So coming in and seeing all the people and just seeing how everything is structured and it's totally different than a regular American wedding.
Yeah.
It's totally
Do you know
different.
if it was like what type of Indians they were or no?
No, I couldn't.
Okay. Because Indians are also massive country and massive amount of people. So very different weddings.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay.
So my biggest take from that was realizing that in India, as you know, that the wedding is like the holy grail of it. It's like that's how you show people that you kind of got money or like
your status
in life. Yeah. So that's the biggest thing. In America, it's just like, okay, you want to have a party, but they do it 1,000 times bigger than we do it. It's not even close.
Did they treat you well? Absolutely. Did they give you some good food?
The food was amazing. Everybody's super nice. Everybody, but it's weird because you have to understand what's going on because each group is doing something different throughout the whole day.
Yeah.
It ain't just like a wedding where you're sitting there, you got the reception, you got the ceremony, you got the speeches. You have that, but then at the same time, you have a group of women over here doing something totally different. You got the kids over there doing something different. You got the pastor saying something on the mic, and then he says something on the mic, and everybody just looks right back at him and yes, agree, and then go back to what they're doing. I'm like, what did he say? Because so, and then it was just like, he told me one thing. He's like, don't stop shooting.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Never turn the camera off. Never turn it off. I'm like, I don't have that many SD cards on me. I don't know how long I can shoot. So shooting for the one day, I filled up 4 SD cards, 4 256 terabyte, GB cards, and I had to spend that whole night dumping them. And I was trying to do it on my laptop. Most people don't have terabyte or plus hard drives, so I was trying to, you had that one, so I'm trying to.
Did you have to go run and get an emergency SSD?
No, because it was closed. I didn't get home till about 1:00 in the morning to then get right back up at 6 to be right back over there. So at the time I had Dropbox, so I'm trying to dump it to Dropbox online, but I'm using a Wi-Fi through the hotel, and we know how slow that is.
That wouldn't get done for hours,
man. So it didn't get done until 4 that morning.
You didn't get much sleep.
I didn't get no sleep because I was so worried that, oh man, this ain't gonna load, this ain't gonna, it ain't gonna file. So it went through. I was able to dump, and I did that for the 3 days. I'm like, I need to invest in 12 more cards.
Yeah, no, you needed to have a SD card. Then that copy much faster, right? So,
but I was doing it. No, I was doing both. I had an SD card, but then I was also double. I was also double backing up because just in case the hard drive failed at some point, I wanted to make sure I had it. That's all stored.
That's very smart. Yeah.
So. Again, an Indian wedding all day event, and it's shocking because they don't talk through the Indian wedding. Like the bride and groom don't really talk. They're just really there, just showcasing their love, and people come show them love, and the pastor's talking, and so it was just like I'm taking it all in and just trying to understand what to film and what not to film, and can I step on this rug? No, you can't step on that rug. Okay, I can't go around this way. I can't. So it was a lot of It's a lot of rules to understand with Indian wedding. You just can't just show up and shoot one without having somebody who's there to teach you.
Good point that you're saying. It may be good to actually watch a couple of videos that somebody else has made, I guess, to get an idea. And the funny thing is, like I said, on my side, I'm telling you, there's like different. Completely different types. Obviously, it may still be a big party, but different types of Indian weddings. So you may learn about one, and they're like, totally I'm ready for the next one. And then you go, it's a different culture. So their customs may be different. And then you're like, I feel like I'm starting from scratch.
Right. But it was a great time, And what I realized with them, one of the biggest things is the intro. Mm-hmm. I guess I actually forgot the name of it, but when the groom comes into the venue or wherever he's coming from, it's like a parade that they do with him and he has the car. He might have a Lamborghini. He might have a Rolls Royce. He might have
they come in a horse. They
or they come in a horse, or come in a horse. But
thing.
no, he had I forgot what he had, but he came in with that, with the people with the drums, and it's a whole parade. It's like a mile long, and they
that's
do
very
that.
important. And then they exchange when they get to the venue between the boys' family and the girls' family. It's a whole thing, right?
And they meet right there, and
that's very important to film. You don't want to miss that.
So if you think American weddings are tense and very nerve wracking, filming an Indian wedding is 10 times worse because
so you think charge more.
Oh, definitely,
more money.
Definitely. Well, we know that because of how extravagant the weddings are already. They're already in $1 million places. People. I had people. Well, he told me that he had people who ran a whole hotel, and they told the hotel to change out all the carpet in the hotel because they didn't like the carpet in it, and they paid for them to change the carpet out. I'm like, how much money do you have to tell a hotel to change the carpet out just for a couple of days? So I know, like I said, but again, as I was there, I was talking to the other videographers and the other photographers, and they was telling me, because they do this for a living, it was like, this and that, and this is the biggest thing, and they save since birth, for the child since birth, for this point, this is again to show their wealth, to show their love, and they save since birth for this reason, and everybody's there is somebody, as you know. Indians are always either a doctor, lawyer, there's some high profession.
What are you trying to say, sir?
You guys are amazing. That's what I'm trying to say. You guys were amazing.
That I am not a doctor, engineer. I'm not.
Oh, but you made more than them right now. So we already know that, you're right there along with them. So
tell that to my parents. My mom says like, you're not doctor, engineer.
As you know, exactly.
Yeah,
so
right?
so So
it's the mentality,
Yeah. So, but it's amazing that everybody's there and they're able to get, all the gifts that they're able to receive. And it's if you ever get a chance to just experience one, just to go to one, go to it, just so you can see the difference in culture and how they treat it. We treat it here as like it's a big thing, but to them that is the thing. I loved it. Even though it was super stressful, super high stress, and it was just like, because again, my first one, so I didn't know what really to expect, but after doing it, just like, oh man, this is cool. Like,
That's awesome. You've experienced an Indian wedding. You've even filmed it, which is even crazier than attending one. Because at least when you're attending it, you could just eat and have fun.
Yeah. Well, even with the eating, it was weird to me because I didn't know that the men eat first.
Oh yeah,
the men eat first, which just throw me completely off. So like, I got in line just not thinking who's in line with me. I just got in line, and then I give my wife the plate because I'm like, let me go get you a food. So she's eating. As I'm looking around, I'm like, no other female is eating. Hold on, give me the plate back. I don't know what's going on. So I slid it back, and like a guy came and was like, no, it's okay. It's okay. She can eat. But I'm like, it's like it was weird because like the men eat before the women and children, and just like, oh, this is different. Okay,
I don't know if that's common. At least I'm used to Punjabi weddings where everyone just eats.
Okay, it threw me off.
You eat and you drink and you party. It's a crazy party. So that's what I'm saying. It's slightly different. I'm not used to that. But again, I don't like Indian weddings because they're too much for me. I'm as you can't tell,
low key.
I'm very low key in terms of that. So to me, they've always been like hyper. But the food is awesome. So
food's amazing.
I've in mind attending them because I'm like, I can eat.
The food was amazing.
The food, but that's great. So now, obviously, I don't do weddings. That's great that you got your start with weddings, and I know for a fact you've done commercial and corporate work, which is again what I love to do. And tell me about the switch in that, and now currently at least, are you focusing more on weddings or you just want to do both? So first, tell me like, how do you go from weddings to like building a brand video or whatever for someone, and then again, which one did you like better?
So the switch came from after the Indian wedding. It was just like, oh, okay, this is a lot. I don't know if I can do this every time. Even though knowing how much you can make doing Indian weddings, like that sounds amazing. Like you can make a ton of money doing Indian weddings. So it came from, like I said, after that I took a break because, again, I wasn't doing this full time. This ain't my full time job, so it wasn't like I needed to do it. I was just doing it to help. He'll always call me for certain things. He'll do a lot of weddings, not any weddings, but regular weddings, and I'll do those. And it was just like, okay, they're cool, but it's not really my lane. Like, I'll still do one today if somebody called me, asked me for help, or they needed to do one, I'll do it. But it was like, okay, that's not really what I want to do. So I kind of took a break and just kind of just started researching about different, video industries and different services that we can offer. And it's like, okay, I think I like the corporate world if I can, or documentaries. So ironically, one of my wife's friends contacted me because she wanted to do a documentary on her life, basically for the month of October, which is Natural Stillbirth Month awareness for, pregnancy month. And she wanted to do a documentary on her life about what she went through, her struggles as far as getting pregnant and trying to conceive and all that, and losing babies and all that. So went up there and did a documentary for her, and just fell in love with it. It was kind of like a 1 day, half day type shoot, and put it together a whole documentary for her. Yeah, like a little short. Put that together, and I kind of just fell in love with the process of just, like I say, it's story. It's different than, a wedding's a story, but at the same time, it's kind of already structured the way it's supposed to be structured. But when you're actually creating the video, creating the scenes, and creating, the story, it's different because now you're putting your own spin on it. You're able to put your hands on it and actually make it something that's different. So I had put that together, and everybody loved it. Like, oh man, this is amazing! Like, you told the story, they was crying and all this. I'm like, yeah, when you feel that emotion, again, it goes back to my high school days when I was able to, bring in emotion, because people nowadays don't understand the importance of the music and audio and video. It's really better. It's really more important than a video if you got great audio. We know this because we watch crime shows all the time where they'll just show you a picture of a pothole with the person over talking it, and you're intrigued,
Exactly, No, I always say, as a DP, camera operator, director first, it's the lighting and the audio that makes the video, not the camera. People need to stop obsessing over cameras. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so doing that, and then, the process was interesting because, like I said, I never did it before, so I was just trying to understand because you come through with your own questions. There's no set standard for a documentary. You're like, okay, this ask X, Y, and Z, ask this, ask that, do this, do that. Everything's off your base and your own merit and how you feel, and you go off of what their responses are, and you piggyback off of that. You might have a whole list of questions that you might never get to ask because they're going so deep into stuff, and you just keep trying to, bring out that emotion and all that, which is a better story anyway than what you probably had in your head.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it happened, and just kept pulling, and then editing process is, how do I structure this to make it coherent and
completely different than I'm guessing a wedding, right?
Oh, that was totally different. Totally different.
More videography, I would say, and a documentary is more filmmaking, right?
Absolutely.
Because in wedding, you can, some you can put lights, but most likely you can't control lighting. You can't control, like you said, structure. So you're just telling the day or whatever in just a nice way.
Yeah.
Versus documentary, sure, the settings and the stuff, but it's completely different. Like you said, the sound and the lighting is going to make it far more different every time based on how you do it than the filming part of it.
Right.
So it's a completely different challenge, right? So
completely different challenge. And then again, not researching, just kind of going on my own, my own thoughts and processes. It's like, okay, how do I think this is a look, or how do I think this would, make sense? Do I feel emotional watching it? If I can feel emotional watching it as a man and all this, I know the females are gonna just fall into putty, what I'm saying, with watching it. So and I just loved it, doing that, and that just sparked a whole nother, thing in me to be like, okay, I love this work right here, going into this, which got me into more the corporate work, to where I was able to get a contract with another friend who actually worked with me at the time, and she was opening up a which is kind of weird to say, but it was a sewing conference, like sewing, like knitting and crocheting.
There's a conference for that. There's a conference for everything.
So when she approached me about it, I'm like, what you mean about sewing? Like sewing, like machine sewing, like making bags and all that. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I can shoot that, she was creating an event, or she had already created, and she was just trying to get more promotion, more promotion out there
Mm-hmm.
for the events, because she had one prior, and then she was like, okay, she's trying to get bigger for the next years coming, so she needed
Mm-hmm.
promotion for it. So I came out, shot some stuff. We did a little small promotion video. She loved it. So then she was doing a 3-day event. She started doing 3-day events every year, and she needed event coverage for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing her events for that, 3-day events for that. And it was like, it was different because I'm coming from documentary, I'm coming from wedding, and now I'm at a sewing conference with, a wide range of women. It's so, you're talking about young kids to old ladies. They was all sitting here, and then I come in with
You're telling me men don't sew?
Now, it's a couple men there. It was a few there, but most of them were there with their wives. So it wasn't like they were there by themselves. They were there with their wives, and like, well, I'm here. Let me try this as well. So,
exactly.
So I did that, and it was an amazing experience because it was totally out of my bubble, totally out of my realm. It's like I didn't even know this word even existed.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man, you can make money doing this. Like, so I'll be in there and seeing these old ladies and these kids in there make actual handbags from scratch. Like, I see the fabric, because I'll come by, film the fabric, and then I'll come back a few hours later, and it's already into a handbag. And I'm just like, you made that from that? You made that's an actual real handbag.
Yeah.
They're making shoes, and they're making, it was just amazing. It's like, man, like, and then it's weird because, like I said, I'm the only, big black guy there filming these. And so the first year it was real timid because, they're like, who are you? Why are you here? Why is camera in my face? Why is this and that? And I got a lot of pushback from the actual attendees because it was like, hey, I want to be filmed, and I don't want to be this on camera, because I guess they're also the first time being there, and they were kind of nervous about how to do it because they asked a lot of questions, and they didn't want to feel like slow or dumb on camera. But I'm trying to tell you, like, everything that I put in there won't be what you think it is. I can edit the film to make it seem like you're an expert at this. I can do this and that, but I got a lot of pushback from that. And then
how do you counter the pushback? What's the approach that you take?
For me, I just try to be personable. I try to be friendly, try to make them smile, make them laugh, and just just let them know that, hey, this ain't what you think it is. But at the same time, I also respect their boundaries. So I would just be like, okay, I understand, and then I'd move to somebody else. It's a big conference. The first one that I attended, they had at least, I want to say, 400 people there. 400 people. So I have a ton of people to go to get more footage from. So once they see that I'm interacting with other people and they're laughing, they're having fun, now their psyche kind of loosen up. Like, okay, maybe he's not as bad as I thought it was, and then they'll loosen up and make me, in the next class might come up to me and talk to me now and say something. So that was the first year. The first year was interesting because, like I said, I'm just trying to get used to it and all that. But the second year that we did it was totally different because now that everybody knows who I am.
Yeah.
Now people, as I walk in the door, people scream my name. Hey, Tony, how you doing? So now it's that. So now it's people want to be on camera now. People want to show their work. People want to be this and that.
That's so awesome. And clients know your
so
name.
It's an amazing feeling because now all the new people who were there for that year are looking like, oh, okay, who was that? So now that same timidness is already gone already because
so you can already be more effective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now I can be right here in your face.
Yeah.
And you're smiling and laughing without being like, oh my God, screw back. Like, so now I can get those nice close-up shots. And if I don't have my 85 or 200 on there, I can be right there in your face with a 50 and get it, and you're laughing and smiling, and we start setting up interview stations as well to where we can talk to the people, attendees, and like get their experience and how that. So before that, they wouldn't do it because they didn't know, and they're like, no, I don't want to talk. I don't want to be on camera. But the whole second year, it's like, oh yeah, let's go. Where you at again? You over there? Okay, give me 5 minutes. I'll be over there. So it was it's just for me telling us and to other people, it's just like, just be personable, like just be nice. Just be kind. When people see you smiling, they smile. When see you having fun, they having fun. So you just got to be that person on set and then just be who you are,
And as a filmmaker, man, I love conferences because, sure, obviously I love lighting and sound and all that. Like I said, love doing talking head. But what I love about conferences is living in Orlando, where like like Vegas, we're a big,
Yeah, it's the
huge hub
mecca
of
almost. Yeah.
conferences. Learning what the stuff, like
Yeah.
it's every conference for everything, like from antivirus software to
Yeah.
like I don't know,
Pins and needles,
diabetes
and then like
to like one of the ones I attended was for literally a flooring conference, and I was there 10 hours listening to like subfloors of freaking 200 types, and I'm like, I would have never known that there was so many products for one purpose and from so many different companies, and they're all, you know, coming up and talking about how their products are the right solution. Anyway, what I'm saying is, it's like I at least love that it can never get boring, because even though conferences are pretty much same thing you do for you know, most of them, like you said, you know, you're creating maybe a recap video, capturing sessions or whatever. But what keeps it interesting is because every time it's like something going on, it's random. Once we covered like a Beyblade competition, you know, what I'm saying is like it's so random what you're gonna find. It can never get boring, and that's what's amazing to me. And like you said, I didn't even know there was a sewing conference, but then I'm like, why am I weirded out? I've been to so many.
No, it's amazing because
yeah.
that also lets you know that, you know, people think that the market is saturated. It really is not. You know, it's so much work out there that you don't even know that you can't even tap into because you don't even understand.
Yeah,
or
and
know.
you don't even know that market.
You know,
or
it's
that industry
crazy.
exists, until you get to. That's what I'm saying. Stop worrying about, and not to you, but I'm saying in general, people should stop worrying about there's not enough work or who has what work. Don't be concerned about that. You know, don't be envious. Just go do it, and then go make these contacts, because you'll be amazed what all is happening, especially in your town, or especially in our town, where it's like there's literally every day tens of conferences happening, and for all sorts of random things that you are not even thinking about right now. And plus, it makes it fun, like you say, like that sewing thing. I'm pretty sure you're not into sewing, but you had a lot of fun at that, right?
Definitely a lot of fun. Like I said, because it brings you out of your comfort zone. You know, I was again, I was timid as well the first time because I didn't know what to expect, and I didn't know what I was walking into. But by the second, the third, fourth year, it's like, oh man, like I know how to do this. Like you got to put that one on top of that. So then, you know, I'm over there taking class. You know, you know,
hey, funny enough, when we were building this studio space, excuse me, talk about that flooring. I was like, I know exactly the subfloor I'm gonna pick. You know what I mean? It's so funny. I would have never thought about it. I'm like, how do I know this?
Yeah, you'd be like using the wrong pen. You did the 8 pen out of 10. You know, just change that out.
Exactly right. And we're not even trying to learn, because we're obviously trying to do what we're there to do, which is our art. But back of your mind, you learn. And last year with my buddy Adam, we filmed so many of this. EMS conferences or whatever. Now, like every time, I'm like, I'm not a doctor or medical expert, but like somebody's I'm like, oh, they need you know, they need CPR or whatever, right? You know what I mean? It's like you start to think of these extra things that you never thought about, or you're learning on the back of your mind. So, like I said, I love it. It's always interesting, and that's another avenue to make such a killer living that people don't even think about. Anyway, coming back. So which one do you like better? Now you've done weddings. You've done kind of like a mini documentary. You've done conferences and corporate work or whatever. So what do you prefer? Where are you headed towards? What do you see your future? Do you see quitting your job, becoming full-time ever with video? Or are you happy where you are? I kind of want to know what you're leaning towards.
So right now I'm doing a lot of more commercial work right now. I'm working with a couple businesses right now to, you know, get up there promotional as far as not event coverage, but more for their seasonal products that I'm doing a lot of. We just did a holiday commercial shoot, and now we're going to do a Valentine's Day, and just trying to get, I think Alex Miner told me this, you know, call it a digital business card. You know,
brand video or brand video card. There you go.
Shout out to Alex.
I'm gonna have him in a few weeks. I'm excited.
So I'm doing a lot of those, you know, basically because, you know, like the concept is like basically who you are, you know, you make great products, but nobody knows who you are. So doing a lot of those. My main thing now is that I want to get into is not testimonials. I do those, but do a lot of trainings. I want to get into trainings as far as internal trainings for companies. I just feel like that's the same line as documentary work for me, because you kind of can, you know, make the script how you kind of want it, but same time with their input, and, you know, make it a little different. And again, training is also where the money is. You know, it's residual. You know, you make it, you know, you get a nice sized company that's doing a lot of training, you can make a killer living
Yeah.
just in that one department.
I love making courses.
You know,
man.
so as you know, it's one of those things where it you know, like the giving keeps giving, you know, and if you make one for one company, I mean, one department, the other department needs training videos, and it just keeps recycling. The next year you need new ones, and it just
exactly. Plus, you're making them less boring because the amount of companies I've seen their training videos, man, that put people to sleep.
Yeah.
At the end of the company, you have to understand, you know, and I'm sure you get this at this point, but like, they're spending a lot of money training people, right? Last thing they want is the person to have to retrain an employee. That costs way more money. And then having to also the churn, right? The employees that they're not good at the job because they slept through the training, having to rehire and then now retrain people. So it's a lot more ROI for them, like to train the current hires better. And the best way to do that is to make more effective training videos. And the type of training videos that existed, at least in the past, were so boring and that people would either go to sleep or the videos didn't exist at all. And here now we can come in, we can make them effective, we can make them entertaining, but at the same time very information dense. So the companies can save so much money. And then we can make so much money, and everyone, it's a win-win situation, and they get less churn because the employees actually wanting to watch those videos and they actually did better, right?
Like them,
I love training videos, and it's a different way to think. Because initially, you know, my thinking was, oh, it's not sales, right? How do I capture ROI? Because my whole thing is let me make you money, right? And I'm like, but how do I sell them? They're not making money. You have to go the other route. You have to think, remember, hours saved is also money ROI because that's money you didn't spend. You know, money a penny saved is a penny earned.
Right.
So it's a different perspective, but it's the same thing ultimately, right?
Yeah.
So that's great that you're thinking that. So it seems like weddings are a thing of the past.
Yeah,
or you're still doing them?
Like I said, it's a thing that passed. But again, if somebody approaches me and says they need one, the price is going to be crazy. Okay. And if you say I'll shoot it, I might outsource it though.
So there's always a number.
It's always a number. There's always a number. Trust me. You'll shoot one too. Somebody came to you and said 20,000.
I have no number for a wedding.
So somebody offered you 50,000 for a wedding. You should do. Wow.
Hey, okay. Here's what I'll do. I'm a business owner.
You're gonna take it and outsource it,
and
right?
I'll call you. And
Absolutely.
Like, absolutely. And then I'll say, Tony, we need a wedding here. Can you wear a Benjo shirt and go make this happen? But normally, no. I generally just don't even want the cut because at the end of the day, that's not what we do, right? My whole branding is, you know, we make awesome videos for businesses. So why would I, want to even entertain? Because then I'm lying. I'm saying, now I'm doing that. And I've never done them. Plus, like I said, I don't want to do them. It's never intrigued me. Plus, I consider I don't know, this is gonna ruffle some feathers. I consider myself a filmmaker, and if I can't control lighting. Which I know, again, on the other side, I do conferences. Can't control lighting that much. Anyway, but my whole thing with wedding was always like, I can't really control much, you know. And obviously I'm not going to ruin their day, right? I'm supposed to be letting them have the best of their. I was like, I don't fit there as my style of filmmaking. And I'm letting other people who are experts at that, who are good at that, do that. But anyway. But yes, so there's no number. But if there is a huge number, then I'm calling you and taking the cut. But coming back to, so that's good though, man. And there's nothing wrong. Like I said, I love wedding videographers. I respect them. I know a bunch of my friends do this. So hey, hats off to them.
Yeah. So for me, like I said, weddings kind of because I like structure. Like you said, I like structure. You know, you can. You know, I know people now are kind of getting to what they call in documentary style weddings. People doing now.
Interesting. If I had to get a wedding video made or whatever for me, I would love to get one of those. They're very intrigued me.
So people are doing that nowadays, but to me, it's still a wedding at the end of the day. But again, I like structure. I like sitting down. Let's come up with a script. Let's come up with an actual plan. Let's set up the lighting. Let's set up. Okay, let's do another take. I love that fact. So again, I'll shoot a wedding if somebody comes to me, but that's the thing of the past for me right now. I want to focus on corporate. I want to focus on, again, get into some doc work if I can. But yeah, my main focus right now is corporate because it's easier and structured. You know, a lot more lenient. When with their time and effort. You can kind of again with my time being limited. What I have. Going to corporate world just to me makes more sense. I'm able to book, out. Let's do a Friday shoot. Okay, great. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
With a wedding, it's really all depend on when the venue is open. Oh, okay, they only have Tuesday open. Well, I guess we're doing a Tuesday wedding.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things like, well, now I got to shuffle everything around and do all this and that. But if you look at my calendar, you only see Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Well, that's the only days you can choose from.
Exactly.
So yeah, so that's my main focus right now. And as far as staying with the job, at the moment, I'll probably stay just because I'm able to do it right now with the way I'm working. But if I'm able to get to a point to where I can, for me, I always said I have to triple my income to leave. It has to be more than triple. But then at the same time, if I hit triple, I'm like, well, shoot, why would I leave when I can make?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And so it's like now I can add both.
Yeah.
So it's like one of the things where my, it was always triple my number as far as my salary goes with video. So at the same time, if I do hit triple, one thing I do want to do is retire my wife first. Let her be able to do things that she want to do, and then just let me keep taking that burden on as far as that.
Oh my goodness. You're making all of us look bad.
Man, I ain't trying to, man. You just different lives. That's all it is.
No, but that's great, man. That means, like I said, I respect that. You're, which I mean, family's everything to me. That you're putting your family first, and your goal is, hey, I'm gonna retire my wife first, then I'm gonna maybe retire myself.
Yeah, because you just try to find your lane, man. That's all I'm trying to do. So
3x is the number, right? 3x.
Yeah, for me, it's always been 3x. But again, once you hit the 3x, you're looking like, yeah.
But can't you see? Let's look at to be real, I think again, what your job is sounds pretty cool too. But if you look at the business side of it, if in 3 days of the week you can 3x hypothetically in this scenario,
right, and if you do it full time, how much more can you make?
There's no ceiling to this, right?
It's that give and take. It's like, well, you able to make that much money only doing the weekend work. What if you did this full time? How much money can you make? Again, nothing is guaranteed. You can have 300,000 one year and lose all your clients the next year.
Well,
now get back.
You do a good job. I mean, I don't know where they're going.
Well, I'm just anything happen with with this world, anything can happen. So it's just, for me, it's always been, I want to say not for us being scared, but at the same time, it's just having that comfort of always knowing that you have a fallback, and it's always there to know sure that I have something there for them.
Exactly. I mean, and I respect that, like I said, but you're also happy at your job. Like I said, I was miserable, and I was trying to do the same thing, trying to manage freelance with the job, and then me going full time, and it was the best thing I could ever do. Right? It changed everything. Obviously, there was hurdles. It wasn't easy. I had to learn. Like I said, I didn't have these talks to listen to. I had to literally figure everything out. All the people that at that time I thought were successful, which were not, that I tried to reach out to didn't respond. And, so it took me a while to find the real successful people in the industry. And then by the time I did that, and all the advice they gave me, I was like, oh, I had already figured it out. It just took me years of stumbling to get there. And had I had information like this, man, I could have done this years ago. But either way, finally got here, and I'm like, I don't change anything because obviously it's been an incredible journey. But no, so you never know, I'm saying, when you go full time. But at the same time, again, if you're not miserable at your job, you're making a great living, why even quit, right? So I see that perspective. See, on one side, I'm like, I would never go back to a 9 to 5. That's literally my driving force.
Right.
That as long as I can do this and not go to a 9 to 5, I'll do this forever. But then at the same time, I'm like, ooh, if I was doing something cool like that, maybe why quit? Especially if you're happy. It's a personal thing.
You can do both.
Exactly. You can do both. I mean, you are the perfect example of you can do both, and you are doing both, and seems to be like it's working really well, right?
Yeah. I mean, well, that's all suggesting. Really well. I don't know about really well, but hey, I'm surviving.
Okay. What does that mean? I want to know. So to me, on the outside side is like you have a good job, right? That pays decent. Then you're making a decent, rates. Because most people are trying. So just so you know, the typical people I talk to who are starting in this or not successful in this, they're struggling to even charge $5K for a video, right? and you've obviously crossed that barrier
Yeah.
doing this part time.
Mhm.
So charging big numbers isn't really seems like your struggle, right? So
It's,
what
it's
is your
always
struggle? Let's talk
well.
about. So what struggles are you facing right
I
now?
would say it's always a struggle just because everybody's different.
Hmm.
Just because you did it one time don't mean that's to be their constant. Unless
Yeah.
you're constantly booking, then you
Yeah.
can constantly charge that. But every industry is different. Every customer is different. Um, so
So
my
what
biggest
type of struggles?
struggle,
Yeah,
so my
are you
biggest struggle
facing?
is again, you just as everybody is just getting constant customers. So my biggest thing now is I would love to get retainers.
Hmm.
Um, Try to get away from the one-off clients, just doing videos and then kind of,
Hmm.
pitching them something and they're like, nah, I'm okay, I don't need that. But then, so now it's just trying to get it, retainers, trying to get, basically month-to-month customers or year-to-year customers if we can. So my struggle right now is, just getting that consistent work as far as customers. It ain't always, you're not always shooting, you're not always. So my biggest thing is just getting that consistent work, getting that consistent client. Well, not clients. For me, I personally would love to have, anywhere between 5 to 15 real personal customers to where I'm working with them every single month.
Hmm.
And we just doing that, tend to have to every single month, every single
Yeah.
week, trying to find somebody new, trying to find something different.
Yeah, and
that's
that's not even realistic, like you said.
Yeah.
And talk about what I was just mentioning. So when I found out, because initially when you look at, maybe whoever you're looking forward to, like, oh, I want to be like that. You see, it's a DP that they're constantly, working, or
Mhm.
it's a production company that's constantly making. So you think, the realistic way is every month I'm going to find 10, 15
Yeah,
new
right.
clients.
It
The
ain't,
thing is,
yeah.
it's not realistic. I mean, literally the most common thread I found. Anyone I'm talking people making. Anyone that I found that makes 7 figures or more in doing this in the corporate and commercial world, they have like top 4 to 5 clients that pay like 80% of their revenue.
Yeah.
And then the one off or the maybe a couple of month of repeat clients only pay like the bottom 10 to 20% of the revenue. And when I compared, I was like, oh, that was very similar to me. We're all chasing those same, retainer or repeat
Mhm.
clients. Because at the end of the day, the idea again that 10, 15 new clients with 10, 15 big projects are coming every other month or every month, um, you know, out of the blue. And you're going to be able to close those deals, do pre-production, do production, do post, like
Yeah.
everything that we need to do
Right.
is unrealistic. And
Right.
anyone who's
Absolutely.
thinking that's possible, I don't know anyone. If you were that, like, I want to talk to you because I don't know anyone
Yeah.
who's doing that. It's so like you said, that's the perfect thing that you're chasing because that is the realistic way to make good living here is to find yourself some clients that need work, right? They need
Yeah.
content, and you can provide the content to them. And the other thing, and tell me if you've noticed this, a lot of people are like, then, but why wouldn't if they're paying you, I don't know, $200,000-300,000 of their budget, whatever, one client, right?
Mhm.
Why would they not just do this in house? Because what I find is because it's cost effective. Because
Yeah.
if they hire
Because
people, right, you work like there, you have to give
yeah.
PTO,
Yeah.
you have to
Healthcare.
you
You
can
gotta.
get
Yeah.
healthcare, which costs
Yeah.
money. Now you have to follow rules and regulations of how many hours they can work. Plus, what if you don't have work for
Yeah.
them now? Now you need, for a month,
Right.
and now you need 5 videos made. They can't
Right.
5x the people. You can't just hire people for a month and then
Right.
fire them. And plus, equipment in our industry, everything's changing. Then
Mhm.
constant training. Point is, it's not financially viable unless they're like 100 million, like a very huge company. It is not viable for them to have a media department. And here we can offer them $1 million media department
Mhm.
for fraction
Fraction.
because we are splitting that between all our clients, right? So it doesn't make sense for them to do in house, and we can do way better job than a 1 to 2 man video
Right.
team. So it makes sense for both of us, and we can be effective because we can split our resources among many clients. We don't get bored, right? And we get to make them good
Yep.
content, and then they don't have to now spend so many resources hiring, training, providing healthcare.
Absolutely.
So I think it's a win-win relationship. I don't know why anyone would get in the mindset thinking that's not possible. That's like those
Yeah.
clients are out there. There are plenty
No,
of
that's
them.
definitely out there. And
I have a few of those, so I'm not. I'm like, come on.
I love to have some of those.
Yeah.
But not, people just don't realize how stressful it is to keep trying to find new customers.
Yeah.
Going the B2C route, business to customer route is so stressful because now you're dealing with emotion instead of business and dealing with, business. Customers want to lowball you. Customers want everything top tier, but want to pay cheap. Businesses are like, how much is it? Okay,
Yeah.
great. Let's go ahead and do that done.
Yeah.
It's like there's no hassle back and forth. I mean, yeah, they might hassle because they have budgets, but at the same time, dealing with a business with a budget versus a customer with a budget is two totally different things.
Exactly. Plus, they're looking at ROI. Their budget isn't based like for a customer. It's like, hey, I made this much. This is all I
Yeah,
have. Like,
yeah,
right? There's not that much
yeah,
flexibility if that's what their paycheck is and
yeah.
that's what the extra money they have to buy whatever they want to buy or credit card or
Right.
But the point is with the business, they're not looking at it from what money they have. They're looking at ROI. They're thinking, hey, if I spend this 5 grand, 10 grand, whatever money they're spending with you doing this video, all they're thinking is how much money can they make back
Right.
from you, right? And as long as they see a positive net return
Yeah.
and whatever the ROI factor that they're looking for, they're gonna buy. It doesn't matter. I've had clients buy, and then a lot of people get in the weeds thinking about this, but I've had clients buy those brand stories.
Hmm.
It's usually the smaller ones, but that's okay. I love helping them, and they've been like, "Oh, we want a band story." They know at least they have full buy-in, but they're like, "We don't have that money," and I've had them put that on their credit card, and I wouldn't recommend that financially to anyone. Like I wouldn't do
Yeah.
that. But the other side of it is they have made money because those same clients where I'm going, sometimes you have to back a minute. You're like, "What? They're just putting all this on their credit card." That means they clearly can't afford it, but they want to work with me. But then you find out like that, 3 months later or whatever, because I at least like to check in with my clients. I'm like,
Mhm.
how's it going? Man, I'm let's close this
Yeah.
big deal. I mean, 100K or 200K or whatever. And that is such a sad. That's why I don't think about it anymore when they're like putting this on credit cards
Yeah.
or whatever, because you don't know the money they're gonna make on the
Right.
back end, right?
They need it.
Yeah, you're not their financial planner. You are their video person. So
Right.
that's what you need to
Right.
focus on. And at the end of the day, as long as you're good at what you do, they're gonna make their money tenfold or
Right.
more right back because videos work, right? We just want to share
Absolutely.
the right stories with their customers
Mhm.
who, like you said, who want to pay little, but then when they're comparing competition, they see these videos and they go, "Oh, maybe I want to pay a little
Yeah.
premium to go with this because I like the personality of this business owner, or I
Right.
like the products better, or whatever we're or service better, whatever we're pitching to our clients." So, at the end of them saying sometimes these business customers will even go into debt to get your video service because they are smart enough to understand the return on their
Yeah.
investment that they're going to get.
Yeah. They need, again, everybody needs video. Everybody understands, well, businesses understand they need video. They need promotion. They need
Yeah.
the content. Customers don't
Yeah.
understand that. They just
Yeah.
see dollars coming out the check and not realizing that, hey, you do own a small mom and pop store, but nobody knows you're here.
Hmm.
So how you supposed to get out?
Exactly.
Your marketing is supposed to be your biggest budget, period.
Hmm.
So what
Yeah, talk about that. I have talked to businesses. Not every business is your client, and that it sometimes, again, these are things I have had to at least learn, and I hope somebody doesn't have to struggle with this because I had to learn to like let go because there's sometimes you'll meet with a business, right? And initially people have no idea, right? And it's also our environment. People don't know how much video costs because there's such variety of people. There's somebody green, with a tiny
Right.
camera who'll make it
Right.
for free or 300 bucks.
Right.
And then there's big companies who want $1 million commercials or nothing, and there's everything in between. So clients don't know a lot of times, especially if they're small business, what to expect. But I've had meetings, where they're like full buy-in. They're like, we want it, but then they don't have the 5, 10, 15, 20K, whatever the project is.
Yeah.
So they need the solution for them. And then, you really want to help them, and you're like,
Mhm.
and then to walk away from that meeting where they were interested and you were interested, and you could transform their business overnight with these videos, but you can't help them because they don't
Right.
have the budget.
Right.
But you have to learn to also know that, it's not you. I
It's
mean, at
them.
the end of the day, our job is to get to know them, get to figure out what the pain point in the business is and offer a solution
Right.
at the best price point that you can offer it
Right.
at. And hopefully the customer, has the buy-in and the knowledge to get it. But some clients don't. I've had it where, like I said, the meetings where they
Yeah.
go, they know they want video, but they don't understand the power of video. They go, okay, well, 20 grand, but for 20 grand, I could go buy more inventory or
Mhm.
whatever. And I'm like, sure, that is smart business, but if you don't have anyone to buy
Yeah,
that
buy it
inventory,
for right.
then and then that's where the lack of knowledge comes, and it's typically these either new business owners or business owners who don't understand marketing, and they're like, oh yeah, we do zero marketing, and I'm like, but then how are people finding
Yeah.
out? Because if people don't know you exist and then people don't know what you're selling and why you're different and
Right.
why to buy from you, you cannot literally physically go meet every single person, right?
Unless you
Especially when you're
have,
B2C. It's one thing to be B2B, you can go to networking events or whatever.
mhm.
But if you're B2C, your
Yeah,
client base is huge.
yeah,
Like you
yeah,
have to tell them who you are, what you stand for, and why to buy from you, and
yeah,
what your products are, or at least have good photos, videos, whatever of your
exactly.
products and services. And that at that point, again, initially, like I said, I used to have that emotional reaction, and now I'm like, I had to come to terms that like, look, what I can do is show them, right? Here, literally, they tell you. So I'm like, okay, so you're telling me this is a problem after you ask a few questions, right? I generally approach my meetings with like, okay, so tell me about it. What? Because they reach out, right? Like, so would you reach out? Okay, we want a video. Perfect. What type of video? Why'd you want it? Do you have an example? And slowly, just by asking simple questions, you'll find they'll tell you exactly the pain point is. They'll
Yeah,
say, oh well, for example, like the one we were talking about, like, well, we have inventory that's not moving. Okay, well, that means more sales,
yeah,
right? So why aren't you getting your sales? And then the biggest thing is, well, how are you getting your current sales, right?
right.
So maybe you can expand into that, and right. So we have to diagnose the problem, and once you do, now you see if video can fit anywhere to actually solve that problem. And once you do figure it out, you say, okay, now how much is that going to cost me, right? That's the cost analysis that we're doing, and then you go, okay, well, this is what I can do. It's going to be this much or this much, and this is what we're going to do, and this is how it can help you. And at that point, the decision is
Yeah, it's on
theirs to
us.
make. Like if they have the buy-in. Because the other thing I found is that if you don't have their buy-in, it doesn't matter how the awesome the video is. If they don't implement it, they don't integrate it. Because let's say you design it to go on their website or the social media or whatever, and then
They never put it on there.
they
Yeah,
never put it, it's not going to
yeah,
do anything.
right.
So you have to have total buy-in, because otherwise also you can't make a difference.
Yeah, unless they have a amazing word of mouth,
Yeah.
word of mouth campaign going on. Yeah, you definitely need it.
Hmm.
Everybody doesn't have that.
Yeah, and viral marketing can work, but you can't guarantee it. I trust me, nobody in video can
No, no,
guarantee it.
definitely.
Now, yes, there's some formulas we can follow to create maybe a viral marketing campaign, but still, nobody can
Yeah,
guarantee you the video will go viral. You
nah,
have to,
definitely.
you know what I mean? There's a lot of other factors into it than just making an awesome viral video.
Yeah,
So you have to build a full strategy, right? Sure, viral marketing can be part of it, but it can't be all of it. You know what I mean?
no,
Especially
that's
if it's
a
not working.
basically, and that's why I like B2B, just because it's not emotional, it's
Hmm.
business.
Yeah.
At this point, customers are emotional
Hmm.
because it's their own personal money. Businesses, they have budgets. It's the company money,
Yeah.
and depending on the size of the business, they have to spend that money that year,
Hmm.
or they use it, or they actually lose it next
Yeah.
year. So they have to spend the money. And if you're good with certain companies, they'll hire you just because a Christmas
They have,
party,
yeah.
and you might charge 4,000, and they might give you 18 just because they have extra budget and they
Yeah.
need to spend it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Some companies will. December is a good month for me, because sometimes they will just pay me for their next year's marketing, because they just need the write off
yeah,
and they have
yeah,
a budget.
yeah,
They didn't spend their advertising budget. They're like, hey, we'll apply it to 2025 because they need to spend it. And I'm like, absolutely,
yeah,
please.
yeah,
But coming back to I want to take the other side of it. You're absolutely right. That's why I love businesses, because it's not the money, it's more the ROI. But there is some emotion involved, because guess what? Now your client isn't a person, right? Your client is that marketing manager or that marketing director, and for them it's emotional, because now they're going, will I look good to the
yeah.
boss,
Yeah.
right?
Now their job depend on it.
Yeah, their job depends on it. Or if they've spent 8 grand, 10 grand on something that
Can't do nothing.
that's
Yeah,
not gonna work, then they're on the hook, not
yeah,
us. So the emotion aspect is slightly different, because they're not thinking about the money aspect of it. They're thinking how they're gonna look, and that's why I pay huge attention on that. I am not working to represent, like I don't care about like my branding, like being front, like I get all the credit.
yeah.
That's one thing, at least for me, is not important at all. I don't
Right,
care who gets the credit for
right,
it, because again, it's not me, it's going to be the people that I hire. I would just want the marketing manager, the marketing director to look good.
right.
And even if I'm working directly with the business, or I'm like, no, you take full credit, right? If this works, you go to your people like, look, see, we did this and I
Yeah.
made this happen. And
Yeah.
then your boss goes, oh wow, especially if it's their marketing director, they're gonna look good and hopefully get a promotion. because we have to remember that that's who we are working for. We're not, yes, the company's paying us, but our job is to make them look good,
Absolutely.
not get the credit. Sometimes filmmakers and I know I did this when I was young because we wanted credit,
Yeah.
because we grow up
Yeah.
watching movies. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I just want my name. And as soon as you can let go, especially in this corporate commercial world, because half my money comes from NDA clients where I don't even get no credit, no
Yeah.
nothing.
You can't. Yeah.
But I'm like, and now that I've let go, it doesn't matter to me at all. I'm just want to be on cool sets and make cool content.
Mhm.
I don't care if I get zero credit because otherwise I wouldn't be on the sets and
Right.
I wouldn't be making that money. But at the end of the day, my goal is not to have my name out there. My goal is to make that marketing agency or whoever is hiring me look good. And as soon as you accept like what your role is, I think you'll be far more successful and they'll be very fast to open their
Yeah.
company's wallets, because remember, it's not their money,
Absolutely.
right? Like you
Yes,
said,
absolutely.
it's just about the only emotional part here is, are they gonna look good? And as soon as you build that trust with them that no, I
The
am
sky's
here
the
to
limit.
make you look good,
Mhm.
and for your company to get the ROI. So again, you look good, right? There you get
Yeah.
their buy-in, and obviously once you give that result, coming back to our retainer and repeat client thing, I think they're more bound to like keep coming back
Right.
because now they're like, oh, I'm looking like a genius here,
Yeah.
and my boss loves me. I'm about to get CFO or I don't know CEO,
Right.
whatever
Right.
role they're
Right.
aiming for, because they're doing so great here. And ultimately, again, both win because we're trying to do is make the company money, and the marketing manager's trying to do the same thing. So at the end, we're all in the same team.
No, absolutely, and I'm the same way as you. I don't really care too much for the accolades and the name being out there. A lot of customers ask me why I don't put my name at the end or at the beginning or throughout the video, because I'm like, because it's not my video, it's your video.
Yeah.
Put your name. And say I'm putting your company name and naming it at the front end of it. It had nothing to do with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a tool.
Yeah.
I can care less about my name being on it because I know that the return on the back end is going to be even greater, when they realize that it's a great video. And
Mhm.
then when people come to ask you who did the video, now you can promote me and then blow me up from that point then.
Yeah.
I don't need my name to be blasted throughout your video as if I'm, trying to upshow your video. Like, why I need to be in a training video with corporate level media and throughout the, why does that matter?
Yeah.
But when they see the quality and they see it and they feel the emotion, like, oh man, who did that?
Yeah.
Like, I need him or I need them.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can go ahead and and stand on the mountain and shout my name at that point, because then once you do that, then there is no more limitations, because now my income or your budget doesn't matter, because now I can charge whatever I charge, and I don't have emotional attachment to it, because now you're looking at just trying to figure out who I am. So when it comes from that point, it's great, because I'm out of it emotionally too, because like I said, because I didn't approach you.
Mm-hmm.
These are my prices. My prices are my prices.
Yeah.
And they might contact me first, like, hey, this guy might contact you. Go full out. Or they got money. Let them. So it's one of them things too. It's all about the connection. It's all about making your current customers look amazing, because that is your showcase.
Mm-hmm. Talk about a very good point you hit on. Like, my price is the price. How are your feelings on discount? Because I'm very much against any discounts.
Yeah, I do discounts as far again, just the people that I like. If it's an industry that I'm trying to break into,
Mm-hmm.
I might do a like discount on the first video, and then after that, then I'll go on full throttle, just so I can show you.
Would you tell them, like, would you say, okay, this is gonna be $4,000 or whatever, but now I'll do it for $3,000 or whatever?
Well, now,
or would you just say it's $3,000 now, and the next time up the rate to $4,000?
No, because I do all proposals. So in my proposal, it'll show a discount, and then once I contact them again, and we actually go over the proposal, and I'll let them know that, hey, I gave you a discount this time just because I wanted to let you know that we're serious, and I want to show you our work and everything like that. But going forward, we'll be charging full price at this point.
Okay.
So there's no guessing games as far as it's 3,000 now. Well, why is it 5 now? So
Exactly.
so like you'll see it in my contract where it says discount 25%, discount 15%, or whatever it is, and you will know that okay, he gave me a discount. And then, but you can see the full price there too. It just says discount, and you be like, okay, it's $5 for that. He gave me this. Okay, great, I'll take it. So it's like that.
No, that's very smart way to approach it. See, in my opinion, which is why I'm so glad we're having this conversation, so people can hear both perspective. My
Mhm.
perspective is different. I'm just like, I don't want to give, because if I'm giving a discount, that means to the clients, I had that much margin, right?
Mhm.
That then my prices aren't my prices. I don't, and again, my prices are anyway too low. I need to raise my prices for what I'm
Yeah.
providing.
Mhm.
But ultimately, the way I do it is very simple. My cost calculation, I used to do, and again, I have dabbled in value based pricing. That's different because now you're just
Right.
pricing is arbitrary based on the result. I don't do that anymore. For me now, it's simple. Like, we're a production company. I'm gonna make you an awesome video. Here's what we want to make. Obviously, right? Then 20% production company out. Then it's just the people and the equipment. Now I can
Mhm.
obviously make more money as a company because I could take my fee as director or DP and bring that in, and or my a lot of equipment that we own, I can take the rental charges and bring that in house too. So there's places where we can dabble. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, costs are costs because they're
Right.
genuinely calculated based
Right.
on the amount of people and the equipment I need. So it's
Mm.
not like I have freaking hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars
Right.
to just play with. And so, like, and plus, what I like with my client, at least it's like, no, this is the price.
Yeah.
There's not even $50 that
Yeah.
I have. Look, this is what I need to make this happen. Now,
Mhm.
can I make the video for a different price? Yes. So, for example, I'm doing a talking head with B-roll for a bank, let's say. Yes, can I do it for 5 grand? Absolutely. I'll bring me in an assistant, right? We'll make talking head. Absolutely. I got my camera card. We'll roll it in. But same thing. Now, if I have 30 grand, I'll bring
Yeah.
me
Right.
plus
Right.
5 crew.
Right.
Plus, we'll set bigger lights. We'll light better. We'll bring Alexa, minis and LFs, and we'll bring signature prime lenses.
Mhm.
So the product will be better quality. It'll still be very similar video. It's just, does your bank represent that quality, or does your bank represent this quality?
Right.
Right. The only thing I can guarantee is at that price point, nobody can make better video at that price point than
Mhm.
me. Nobody has the amount of freaking equipment that they can absorb the cost if they wanted to on
Right.
the lower prices
Right.
than I can. But outside that, I'm not doing something crazy. The price is the price because
Right.
the price was calculated based on my equipment and my people cost, right? Plus what it takes for me to get out of the bed, right? That I have a minimum that I've set, like, hey, I'm not leaving the bed until I'm making that much, which I don't think it's that high. But what I'm trying to get to is,
Absolutely.
but to make that specific video, because if I'm changing the price, the video is going to be different. It's not
Yeah.
going to be the video. And I found, yes, some people will not like that, and those are not your clients, at least my clients. But most people get it because it's like, no, this is the price. There is no, this isn't like I just went my butt and made up a number and I was like,
Yeah.
here you go.
Right.
Right. But
Yeah.
and now people do that again. The other side is I've heard people, have huge success with value based pricing where they're like, okay, I'm gonna make you, how much is your average sale? How many sales do you think you can get with this? Okay,
Mhm.
so it's I don't know, $1,000 times 50. So it's gonna be $50,000 of value. Okay, give me 50% of that. So the video is 25,000,
Yeah.
even though your cost may be 1,500 because
Right.
just you shooting it or whatever. And if that works, then that's great. But my thing is, at the end of the day, there's so many other production companies that are just production companies that are happy to come in and just make the video for the what the actual
You're right.
costs are and still make good money. Then unless you're trying to be a marketing agency, that's different. They
Yeah.
can pull that easier. I think value based pricing.
But I'm the same
Yeah.
way. Like I'm saying, like my price is my price. I don't. It'll. It only varies depend on the actual project. That
Hmm.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So how many people I need, how long days we're shooting, hours, you know, equipment needed.
Hmm.
Um, all that changes based off of that. So when somebody asks me how much would it cost, I can't tell you that without knowing the full scope of what you need.
Hmm.
And I don't like giving out blanket, prices because now you fixated on that
Yeah.
price.
Hmm.
If I say you say you want a talking head, and I'm like, what do you need? Like, I don't really know. Can you just give me
Yeah.
a ballpark? I'm like, and if I say it's 3,500, now you fixate on 3,500, not knowing that you need a teleprompter, you
Hmm.
need backlighting, you need front lighting, I need mics, I need a 3-man crew. Now that 3,500 just came to 75,
Yeah.
and now you come back and mad at me like, I said, why did it double?
Hmm.
Well, it didn't double. This is what you needed based off of what
Yeah.
you asked for, and for me to get out of that, it's all in my proposal.
Hmm.
So when I show you a proposal, it lists everything that I have and I'm bringing to that shoot. So I have check boxes in my proposal to where I check beforehand, and if you say it's too much, then uncheck what you don't need. It ain't based off me; it's based off the prices already in there. So don't so you can't come to me and say, "Hey, this is too much," when you see the full breakdown of every penny that I charge. In my proposal.
So that's pretty cool. I'm glad you brought that up. I would love to go more into that. So the way you're doing your proposal, what software are you using for your proposal?
Right now I'm using Proposalify.
Proposalify, okay. And then, how are you breaking down your proposal? And I love that idea you're saying. So the customer could just check. It's like, I want this. So give me an example for a corporate video or whatever.
So basically, I'm trying to think of a shoot that I just shot. I just do it random.
Yeah.
Just make it. So basically, on my proposal, I go through, who we are, what we're going to do, who you are, and then from there, I have 3 tiers of basic packages. You got executive, corporate, presidential.
So good, better, best strategy.
Yeah, good, better, best.
Awesome. Yeah.
Then from there, they choose those packages, and then it'll highlight, what's in that package.
I want to know the names again.
Executive, presidential, and executive.
Okay. Oh, no, executive, presidential, and what?
Just threw me off.
Yeah, my bad. I know. Sorry, that was a nugget you threw at me, and I was like, I gotta know because the naming is also important. So executive.
I just lost that train of thought that fast. Executive, presidential. He'll come back to me. All right, but basically, it's a play off the corporate level media. I'm still going with that corporate structure when it makes sense. But basically, you got good, better, best. And as you know, your good is basically just you just showing up kind of thing, and your best is like so outrageous, like okay, I can't afford that, so let's go to the middle. So you're trying to funnel it to the middle. But then within that, they can declick and click certain add-on. So an add-on for say we're doing a talking head, So you choose the best pack. You choose the better package. It comes with 2 camera setup, main light, backlight, 2 mics, boom, plus lav, standard, you know. But you say, hey, I actually want to do a PSA or something to talk to my, talking to my crowd. Okay, great. You're gonna need, you're gonna need another camera. I'm gonna need an teleprompter. I'm gonna need this and that. So go in, check that. Now
so is it like actual video, or are you putting equipment in there? Does it say add PSA
so
video, or does it say no, add a teleprompter or this or whatever?
So we'll say,
what are you trying to actually sell to them, at least on their side?
So on that side, it actually says teleprompter. It says third camera. So if you say that, so again, we go through a consultation call. So I already know kind of somewhat of what you want. So I'll go and already check it already. So if I know that you need that, then I know I'm gonna need a third person, and you're gonna need a teleprompter. You need that. So it's gonna be already checked already. But it's gonna say add-on. So it's gonna say video add-ons with a whole list of add-ons for that. So I have multiple contracts and multiple proposals for different shooting. So everything's not on there, but I know what, for this type of shooting, this is what kind of standard for this. So if you say I want everything, you go and check everything, and you see the price, like, okay, now let me take that off. Take that off. So then you see the price coming back down. That way that it ain't on me, it's on you to choose what you want. But basically, it's a page full of video add-ons that says teleprompter, and then it explains what a teleprompter is. It'll say third shooter, and it'll explain why a third shooter is needed. It'll say PA, just because you got this, now I need this person to come in and do this. So it will list all the video add-ons from that. And then that's the production side. I also have pre-production. So I don't charge for consultations, that's free. But say that I need to go do, scouting locations. I need scouting locations, that's a price that you can check. Or you do it yourself, uncheck that. If you need model scouting, I have that in the contract. You check that if you need models that say that you don't want to talk, but you want to find, have somebody else talk, or you need background and things like that. I can go find models for you. Script writing, all that is in there as well. So
you've got a whole rate list basically.
Basically it's a rate list. So basically, what I said, my proposal is a one-stop shop where I don't have to do any extra talking. Even in post production, even post, we do standard, minute, 30 seconds, depending on what you want. Time, so many videos you need. Then within that, what's the what's the quality rate?
Mhm.
Do we need just HD? Do we need Ultra HD? How fast do you need it? Standard is 2 weeks. You want it faster than that? That's a fee. You want it even faster than that? You want a couple of days from now?
Yeah.
It's even it's a rate for that.
Yeah.
You want the raw files? You're going to pay for that. That's in there. You can check it.
Yeah.
But that rate for that, you don't want that.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want that rate.
Because we don't want to give away our data.
Yeah. So it's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot. So all that is in there. And then after that, I have my monthly subscription. So say you like this and you want to do this monthly. I can, it's a checkbox for that. Let's do this every month. So again, my proposal is once I talk to you and I send you that, you choose the price.
You know what it reminds me of is that have you ever been to one of those dumpling restaurants? I don't know where they give you, or maybe a sushi restaurant where the menu actually is laminated and you give you a Sharpie or whatever.
You check what
you
want.
You check what you get and you give it to the chef and then he gives it to you. And you always end up getting more than what you wanted to get. So I see. And this is why, like I said, I'm loving this talk because my whole perspective is different. Like I give them good, better, best.
Yeah.
But that is the price, right? That's what they're gonna get based on what we talked about. But talking about our friend Alex Miner that we brought earlier, years ago, I talked to him and he mentioned, these add-on things, and I was like, I don't want to make a rate list. But I did add a few add-ons, and they add a sound guy or add a makeup artist or whatever. And I did find surprisingly enough people will actually choose that and makes our product better. And it doesn't hurt me because it's just on there on the software that I'm using, and it adds 0 seconds to my anything because it's just in the template. And it can be a little bit extra revenue. Plus, it's helping me be able to provide income to local or wherever I'm going, professionals in the industry. And why wouldn't I want to do that? But this is a very good approach. And has it worked out for you? Like, have people picked a lot of things that you weren't expecting them to pick?
Yeah, absolutely. And it also gives that whole energy off of you because you feel guilty, throwing in extra stuff that they don't need, and now you show up with this, and they're like, "I didn't ask for that. Why is it here? And why you charge me for it?" So it's like now you got to go back and forth with, oh well, it was. But if you check it, it's on you.
Yeah,
you chose what you wanted.
Yeah,
it's nothing on me. So now when I say now when it says it starts at 35, it starts at 35. That's basic with nothing else add on. But then when you check everything and it goes up to 75 and to 17,000.
That it's on you.
That's on you.
But also, do you find then people can, because a lot of people do that. For me, there's also skill in this industry, meaning for example, I've been to, I don't know, tens of thousands of issues. I've seen a lot of problems. I can be on set and be prepared for more solutions, right? Plus, I'm like a simple thing, like I'm recording to 2 cards. They're very high quality cards, and I'm backing them up to 3 places, then I'm putting them on cloud. There's also a reliability factor why I'm like, somebody should hire me and pay me. Things that clients typically don't see.
Right.
So what I'm trying to say is but there's also a factor like between picking video people is the skill level. Do you find, and I find a lot of clients that are hiring us are not experts in our field, right? It's one thing for an agency that is experienced because they can see through all this. But what I'm saying is a typical small business owner doesn't know the difference between somebody just coming out of a full sale or whatever, right? Being brand new with an FX6 because they just give you one, right? Part of the course. Versus somebody who's like an experienced DP who's been doing this for years has solutions to solve most common problems. And anyway, they will just look at this is a DP with a FX6, this is a DP with an FX6, right? Because that's what they say.
Right.
Point I'm trying to make is, do you find yourself that your clients, some, it may not be all, can go then now start rate shopping because they're like, oh, he's charging me, I don't know your rate, but $100 for a teleprompter, $500 for a start shooter, and I don't know, $800 for editing extra. And now they can go because they, business owners, they're going to get 3 to 4 quotes. That's just normal and accepted. So now they'll go to someone else and hopefully, or not hopefully, but let's assume they're like you too. They're doing a breakdown. And then they can go, oh, but his second shooter is only $450 versus $500. Maybe I gotta go with him, even though we don't know the skill level. The end result is the video, right? Which is what matters,
right? And
we don't know obviously the skill level difference. And this one I'm saying for a client side perspective, do you think that is a case, or could that be hurting you?
It's definitely a case. As far as hurting, I wouldn't say no just because that means that you weren't meant for me to
Mhm.
work with. But we all price shop. I
Yeah.
mean, we all,
Yeah,
we
that's a
all do it.
human
So
nature.
it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
human nature just to find the cheapest price for the best, find the best item for the cheapest price out there. That's what everybody does. So I don't have a problem with that. My thing is that's why I build my company the way it is, just because I know most people don't do what I do as far as proposal work does.
Mhm.
When you look at my proposal, I've not one client yet has not been amazed by my proposal
Mhm.
based off of how I put it together.
Yeah.
Most people I know just send out, what are they called? Not quotes, but what are they called?
Estimates.
Estimates.
Yeah.
You just send out estimates with a couple lines. Camera package, light package,
Mhm.
my fee,
Yeah.
total. It's like, okay, what is it? That's all I get, But when I break down, when I break down everything, and there's an actual contract with all the clauses and everything in it, and it's like it's personalized with your picture and name and all that, and it's like, oh man, you put work into this.
There you
Like
go.
this
You're
is
impressing them.
you're impressing
Yeah,
it because
yeah.
now it's like, oh well, you seem like
Mhm.
a professional.
Yeah.
Versus, yeah, he might be cheaper, but is he coming with the same quality that I'm coming with?
Mhm.
Is he showing you the same value up front before you even
Yeah.
work together? So I'm coming with I'm coming from a place where I want to be professional as possible.
Mhm.
I want to be an actual company where you look at me like an actual company. I am an actual company, so I want to present myself as an actual company, not just a freelancer with it just. No shot to freelancers, but I'm just saying with just one sheet and you just saying it's my price.
Yeah.
I want to let you know what we're doing,
Yeah.
why we're doing it, because you told me your why,
Mhm.
and I want to give you proof as far as video testimonials and stuff like that showcases my work in it as well. So it's like there's no guessing of what we can do for you,
Mhm.
So
Preach, my friend.
so it's just
No, what
like
you're saying is
yeah.
amazing, and I love hearing it because we're doing similar things, or we're trying to do similar things, but at the same time, you bring this amazing different perspective, and that's why it's important to have these conversations. Because now I can hear your side and your way of doing it, and you can hear my side, and obviously we're both trying to do the same thing, make an awesome video for a
Right.
client, and seeing what's working, what's not working. So I'm loving this, man. This
Oh,
is
yeah,
great.
it-
Thanks for telling me all about it. I would love to, off the camera, once we get out, I would love to see your proposal. I want to
Yeah.
see all the rates, man. I want to see how you're doing it because, like I said,
Yeah.
I'm already intrigued. So I'm so glad we had this conversation. Now, as we're wrapping this, before we end this, I really want to know, because, like I said, I'm learning so much from you today.
I appreciate it.
What are you talking about? Like, how are you handling your calls or your meetings? So obviously they've approached you, and before you send this, right, there's a gap in between. So they've approached you, and you've sent them this rate list type of proposal, which is, and like you said, they're loving it because you customized it, you built it to you.
Right.
So there's a big thing in between that you're doing, which is either call or in person. Which one? What do you prefer? Typically?
So me, I love in person because telling somebody no in person is a lot harder than on the phone. When you sit next to somebody and you're actually having a conversation about money, if that person's not not an asshole or whatever, they don't care about your feelings.
Exactly.
But somebody with feelings will understand, like, okay, I can't. Let me talk to them later off the phone and tell them no. But for me, I prefer face to face just because it's more personable. I can actually look in your eyes and you can see my eyes and know that I'm telling the truth and I'm loyal and I know what I mean and I'll say what I say. So I definitely love face to face. So that's why even online I'll do a Zoom versus just on a phone call, because anybody can be on the phone.
Yeah.
I love to see your face while I'm talking to you. I love to see what you're doing, because if you're not engaged with what I'm doing, then how we work together? How we going to work? I want it to be a truthful conversation, and I want you to actually want me to work on your videos and not just pick a random person, because anybody can work on your videos. But I want to build the relationship. I wanted to make it be personable, because I consider, I don't go that far as saying as friends, but at least to where we can be cordial and where I can call you and say happy birthday or something, not just be a random number like, okay, that's just a video guy.
Yeah.
Don't worry about who that is. I want to be able to call you personally, like, hey, congratulations to your daughter, or invite you to my daughter's birthday party. And I want to. That's just me personal. I mean, that's just me personal as far as how I like to run my business, as far as my customers. I like to be on a personal level. Because I just feel like personal will bring in more money, because now they can talk to other people about you on a personal level. I know him as a person versus just a company. And they, even though like the company does great work, the person behind the company is an amazing person as well.
Exactly. That's awesome, man. You're building relationships. So how do you tackle these either Zoom or in-person meetings? How do you approach them? Do you have a structure, or like how do you especially I want to get to like how do you tell them how this proposal is going to come, what to do on it or whatever? How are you handling that conversation?
So first I come through with I use what was it Miller Notes.
Mm-hmm.
So I come in with a basically like a PowerPoint, basically just a structure up front to tell her what we're capable to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what my concepts were when you first approached me. Throw my thoughts down there and show them my thoughts and show them what I think would be best, and then we can break it down from there.
Yeah.
Me, I approach every business different. I don't have a structure. I just kind of just flow with what they give me. What's the energy they give me, and we go from there. Because I already have my my bullet points set up.
Yeah.
I already have what you're looking for, so I can go off of that and put in my thoughts, and then we can talk about that, and then break it down from there.
Okay.
So
and then now you've come up with the proposal, you know what they want to do. You've come up with the right solution. Do you write there and then tell them the price, or do you say I'm going to send you a proposal?
I say I send a proposal. I say I don't tell them price at all.
Okay.
I send a proposal and let them see the price in the
okay.
right
And you
in
don't
there.
so you send the proposal after the meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, and they have never seen the price.
Never seen the price.
Do you explain to them like how the software works, or you just let them figure it out? Because
so I send it to them. Yeah. So I send it to them and I let them look at it, because as soon as they open it up, I get an email saying they opening it up. With that software proposal file, you can actually see where they spend the most time at. So you can actually see that they spend the most time on the pricing or the most time on the videos that's in there. So now when I follow up with you, I'm like, hey, I seem to spend a lot of time on the pricing, and I understand that it's a lot, but let me reassure you why is this.
Okay.
Let me tell you why is this.
You're using the analytics, and I love proposal softwares that I use better proposals, similar. The analytics, you can see where they spend, how much time they spend, what do they do. That's incredible, to be able to figure out, where they're at or what's maybe causing the hiccup. Because for me, I'm not even sending them the proposal until I'm sure they're there, right?
Oh, see?
Otherwise,
so that's even different. Yeah.
So it's like, what's the point of sending a proposal, wasting my time? Because at the end of the day, if I'm sending a proposal, they should already be ready to buy. And but no, that's incredible, man. This has been
amazing.
So
it's been
awesome.
Great.
Thanks for coming. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Before we go, though, is there anything else you want to say or talk or ask about, or I don't know, shout out? I don't know, tell people your Instagram. I don't know.
Oh yeah, we gotta do this again. This has been fun.
Hey, you're welcome. Yeah. Hey, we're just trying this. Like I said, I just wanted to do this, and I'm already like, look, we just talked for 2 hours, and I feel like there was so much to learn.
Yeah, we
and I've been doing this for 15 years, and I learned so much, and I hope you learned a little bit, and the audience learned a little bit. And worst case, like I said, just some entertainment, man. Long plane rides, long drives. I mean, there's
we're 2 hours, and we can talk for another 6 hours.
Easily, right?
Talk. But no, again, my name is Tony, owner of Corporate Level Media. That's Corporate Level everywhere. Instagram, Corporate Level, Facebook, YouTube, Corporate Level.
Look at that.
You can also follow my personal Instagram, which is tone_def 314. So TONE_DEF 314. It's my personal. Again, it ain't much on there because I focus more on clients and that's actually one of my goals for this year is to get more, social presence out there.
Same thing with me, man. I've been so busy working. Like I said, even this took 2 years to make it happen. While I was saying over and over, I gotta record these conversations that I keep having with people. But no, that's my goal too this year. We gotta be more active on social media. And share more so people can follow. But no, go follow Tony. And man, thanks again for coming. You're welcome back anytime. Let's try how the season 1 goes. And if it's incredible, we'd love to have you back in season 2 and continue this conversation. I'm pretty sure we'll learn even more. And like I said, maybe we should bring the proposal. I would love to find a way, with the ATEM, put it up and let people explore, as long as you don't mind. Because I'm all about like sharing knowledge, because it only brings more money than takes anything away.
Right.
So I really appreciate you again, man. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you.